That's done. Did that. Check.
Exclusive stolen footage shows a clear funnel cloud.
You're a loose cannon, McNorton. I want your badge and your surfboard on my desk immediately.
Previously on Detective Beach.
With the Milan premiere only weeks away, we'll travel to Paris, France to take a sneak peek at Madame McKay's latest evening wear sensations. Then we'll hop the pond to London and preview Lady Chauffeur's seasonal forecast. Plus, she'll give us her personal tips for looking extra chic during Fashion Week. Dress your best and join us on the runway.
Next week, on the season finale of Heights General, will Dr. Mering finally ask Nurse Julie out? Will the doctors find out that Sylvia still faints at the sight of blood before she performs Mr. Jenkins' Inspector colonotomy? Find out Tuesday. We'll see you at the ICU.
Andrew Morris, you are not a detective.
Previously on Are You a Detective?
And I never asked to fall in love with you.
I never asked to be a 4-star general.
Previously on Attorney General. Only one man would be crazy enough to use a shark to rob a bank. You gotta put me back on the case, Chief.
And whatever you do, read what's in the file called Case File. That'll tell you all about the mystery I'm about to try to solve. If you think you're ready to dive into that mystery, just click on the plane ticket and you'll be on your way. He worries about me enough as it is. And be sure to check out my scrapbook. I put memorabilia from all my past cases in there. A lot of them were pretty dangerous and at times really scary. But don't say anything about that to my dad, okay? It's real helpful, especially if you're new to the mystery-solving business. This is my center of operations, my desk. Go ahead and poke around. If you want to know the particulars of how I do what I do, take a look at the book titled How to Be a Detective. Hi, I'm Nancy Drew. When you're ready to start playing, just click on the plane tickets and hang on to your hat. If you choose Junior Detective, you'll get more hints than you will if you're a Senior Detective, and the puzzles will be a little easier. Before you can start playing, you need to decide whether to play as a Junior or Senior Detective. If there are a lot of words in the text box, use the scroll bar to move the text up and down so you can read along. And you seem to be pretty gabby, especially for someone who doesn't even have a mouth. You think so? Usually people only call me nosy when they're hiding something. Excuse me, Mr. Wiggle Woggle, but I'm not nosy. I'm just very curious.
Excuse me, giant human person, but you seem to be pretty nosy, especially for someone who hardly even has a nose. I mean, compared to mine.
Click on a response and see what your suspect says next. Let's say I've clicked on Mr. Wiggle Woggle here. Our conversation will appear in the text box with his words in yellow and my responses in blue. Questioning suspects is something all detectives need to know how to do. In the game, to get people to talk to you, all you have to do is click on them. If you have to stop playing and leave the game, just click on the exit icon. The gear icon allows you to determine how you experience the game. For instance, you can choose to play the game in a window on your computer screen if you want. You can also adjust the volume of the music, voices, and sound effects, as well as turn off the closed captioning text and change the color of the background mat. Click on the folder icon and you'll be able to load a previously saved game. Just scroll through the thumbnails, select the game you want, then click on Load. Or if you click on New, you can start a new game. And while we're on the subject, it's a good idea to save your game from time to time while you're playing, just in case. The floppy disk icon allows you to name your current game, then save it, or to simply save your current game without renaming it. Click on the clipboard icon, and if you're a Junior Detective, you'll see a list of what I need to do. Organized person that I am, once I've done something, I check it off. I try to keep my notes tidy by putting them into categories. Just click on a category and you'll see all the entries on that topic I've made up to that point in the game. I keep reminders to myself in my journal. Click on the notebook icon at the bottom left of the screen and you'll see what I mean. You can close your inventory by clicking on the square in the upper right-hand corner, by clicking on the inventory icon, or by clicking on another icon. To return an object to your inventory, just click on the inventory icon, then click on the Open Inventory box, and the object will go back into storage. See how the cursor turned into the item you clicked on? Use the key to click on the lock on my suitcase, and you'll see how good I've gotten at packing. To use an item that's in your inventory, just click on it. In fact, try clicking on the key. To see what's in your inventory, just click on the inventory icon at the bottom of the screen. When you click on an object with the hand cursor, that object gets added to your inventory. See how the magnifying glass turned into a hand when you rolled it over the key? That means you can pick it up. To see how this works, move your mouse over this scene until the magnifying glass turns red. Then click to zoom in. When your magnifying glass turns into a question mark, you can talk to someone. When it becomes a hand, you can use it to open and close things, pick up objects, and move things around. I always use my magnifying glass to scan my surroundings for clues. When it turns red, I know I'm onto something. When you want to turn around, move your cursor to the bottom of the screen until it turns into an arrow that looks like a U-turn or back arrow, and click. Give it a try. Find the forward arrow and check out Mr. Woogle Woggle. He's my teddy bear. An arrow pointing forward allows you to go forward, while a back arrow allows you to step back. Sometimes up and down arrows are available too. To get from one place to another in the game, just move your cursor around on the screen and click when an arrow pointing in the direction you want to go appears. And the settings menu allows you to personalize the look of your phone by choosing one of the options in the drop-down. Camera mode allows you to take and view photos. When in camera mode, you can zoom in and pan before taking the picture. Click on View Photos to see your saved photos. You'll be downloading photos later from the View Photos mode. Phone mode stores all the numbers you'll need to know. Bring up the correct contact or dial in the number yourself and press Call. Be sure to call Frank and Joe Hardy from time to time. In this game, you'll also have a cell phone with lots of features: phone, camera, and settings. Each mode can be accessed by selecting its icon from the main menu. Like all storm chasers, you'll be driving a lot of country roads in search of tornadoes. Your GPS unit can help guide you to your location. Before you start driving, open your GPS and set your starting and ending destinations. It will then show you the best route to follow. While driving, you can also open your GPS to show your current location in case you find yourself on an unfamiliar road. As always, your mission is to solve the mystery by stepping into my shoes and deciding my every move.
What'd you forget? Thought you just left. Back already? A tornado's forming. I can feel it. It'll be on the ground in minutes, and it's going to be huge. And here you are, a novice out in the field and all alone.
Because thanks to them, I'm considered impossible to work with. No other school will hire me. I'm stuck here and they know it. So yes, I've been sabotaging my own team. And yes, Brooke is paying me a small fortune to do so. Because I've had it. I'm through. Because I work for a podunk college run by podunk incompetents bent on bad-mouthing and spiting me at every turn just because I don't play well with others at their idiotic staff meetings. I have never gotten the credit I deserve for the work I've done, ever. I know more about tornadoes than any person alive, and I get neither the respect nor the compensation people half as brilliant as me get without lifting a finger. Why?
That's ridiculous. And just what do you think you overheard? Brooke? What are you talking about? Nancy, what are you doing here? Ta-ta. Don't hurry back. Whatever. Fine by me. You know, maybe you should spend less time talking to Pa and more time doing your job here, Nancy. Rich uncle or no, you have work to do. So do it. Exactly. I'm not the type to go after the personal lives of fellow scientists. Huh? No, that's not true. What kind of a question is that to ask? Yes, of course I am. You'd be too, but does that mean it's my fault? No, it doesn't. I'll let it go if we can just move on. And you don't think I do now? I'm sorry I don't still wear my heart on my sleeve, but that's a very amateur thing for a scientist to do. More concerned? What exactly are you implying, Nancy? Now I see why Debbie speaks so highly of you. Optimists of a feather. Tell you what, I'll admit that you just may be right. I hope you're right. I just don't think you are. Let's switch topics, all right? This has been a long enough trip down memory lane for the day. Yeah, well, that's the reality of life, Nancy. You don't honestly think life gets more exciting as you age, do you? Because it doesn't. Dreams fade, hearts get broken, friends get too lost in their own lives to call. Trust me, enjoy your youth while you have it, kid, because the downhill ride, it ain't fun. What's that supposed to mean? Nope. Why do you ask? Which means we could be in for a record-breaking string of tornadoes. You may be putting that enthusiasm to good use. No, I don't touch that stuff anymore. Bad s'mores experience back in 2002. It's not quite candy, but it'll do. Oh, cool. Gum. Even better. Nope, I don't do chocolate. Ugh, I hate chocolate. Keep it. Nancy, this is cheese. What am I supposed to do with cheese? Wait, did you ask if I wanted candy or if I wanted cheese? I'm a little confused. Cheese? I hate to be the one to break it to you, Nancy, but cheese is not candy. The old cheese for candy trick. Not falling for it, Nancy. Cheese? What is this, some kind of cruel hoax? Nope, can't do cheese. My specialist says it's bad for my blood pressure. Why not? I guess. You bet. Okay. Sure. Cats? Forget about it. I'm deathly allergic to cats. Mice are annoying, but at least they don't leave me sneezing and short of breath. I don't know. Look, if it's all the same to you, I'd just as soon talk about something else, okay? Brooke Tavenaugh. She heads the chase team that in all likelihood is going to whoop our collective fanny in the competition. Just what I said. Right now, Canute College offsets the costs of maintaining this place with funds from private companies like the Healy Healy. But apparently that money's about to dry up, so if we don't win this competition, there goes the farm. Yes, that was Frosty. Look, go down there and whatever his problem is, take care of it, okay? I don't have time for any histrionics. Pretty scary how much damage a bunch of frozen raindrops can do to a car. Of course, they've been frozen to the size of golf balls thanks to several miles worth of updraft. Oh yeah, he warned me this was coming. I'll take care of it, thanks. Just make sure you do it humanely, or Debbie will never let me hear the end of it. Maybe you can get one of those Piper guys, or better yet, some kind of catch-and-release trap at that Ma and Pa store. Just get it done, okay? Did you see that? Those dagnabbit mice are everywhere, and I'm sick of it. So if you were wondering what your next job was going to be, now you know. Get rid of the mice in here. Did you see that? You should always... Ah! I mean, there's always room for improvement. For instance, when you're driving in a steady downpour. Well, let's not get cocky. Look, I don't want to hear excuses. Just go. Call it a day and make sure it doesn't happen again, okay? Okay. Frosty says you failed to fix his video camera in time to record anything. What a disheartening day. An EF3, and we failed to get so much as 1 inch of footage on it, thanks to you. That's something that researchers, myself included, all too often forget. As exciting as it is to chase tornadoes, they are hugely destructive, and the damage they do to lives and livelihoods is all too often horrible and irreparable. So, still think tornadoes are cool? I'm sorry, Nancy, that was... I know you meant well. Anyway, good news is it looks like weather conditions for the next 2 weeks are going to be ideal for tornadogenesis. What are you, like 18? Do me a favor, kid, don't talk to me about disappointment till you've lived long enough to experience it firsthand. Before they defunded my department, I got the best of the best. Students who really cared, like Debbie, but those days are over. Now that's what I like to see. Wish I could get that sort of enthusiasm out of my students these days. Between you and me, the last few years I've gotten stuck with the worst students. I could be telling them about the most exciting storms on record, and all I get back is a sea of bored faces. Were you excited? Terrified? Did it make you want to go home? What? What'd you think? All the information you need is on the chart in the other room. You have questions about anything, bug Debbie, not me. Nice meeting you. Second thing you need to do is redesign the warning siren layout for the local community. They just got a set of new sirens and their range is different, so the town asked me, and now I'm telling you, to figure out where to place them so if there is a tornado, everyone will be within earshot of a siren. Look, you're here because that rich uncle of yours said you could do the job, so be a little resourceful and just do it, okay? If you need a nanny, have your uncle send one. We don't have the budget. 2 things you need to do right off the bat. I got to give a workshop on tornado preparedness at the junior high school next week, so put a sample disaster kit together for me. If anything's missing, go up the road to Ma and Pa's and get it there. Ever seen a real tornado, Nancy? You'll be reporting to Debbie, but make no mistake, I call the shots around here. In fact, you'll be reporting to Debbie, but make no mistake, I call the shots around here. But now that you're here, maybe our luck will change. Well, isn't that just peachy? We spend hours racing all over the countryside, and where's all the action? Right in our own backyard. We're never going to win this thing. The school's going to pull the plug on us, sell the farm, and that's going to be all she wrote. And it's all Krollmeister's fault for saddling us with a bunch of Bush League junk. Wait a minute. Did you see a tornado? What tornado? Thanks to the lousy equipment that uncle of yours stuck us with, we just spent the last hour chasing down a bunch of cumulonimbi barely capable of spawning a spring shower, let alone a tornado. What's going on? Hello, Nancy. Yes? You're back, and you've got a trap. Good. The mice seem to hang out a lot by the wall. Try putting it there. Just don't leave till you've caught them. All of them. So, I just wanted to say you did a pretty fair job driving during the chase yesterday. Nancy, hi. Look, Debbie tells me it would be good for morale if I gave people around here a few attaboys every now and then. Nancy Drew, you made it. I'm Scott Varnell, the person in charge of this meteorological train wreck. Welcome aboard. Get rid of the mice, then we'll talk. I thought I told you to get rid of those mice. I'm still seeing mice in here, Nancy. I want those mice removed now. Just hit the hay, all right? Quit bugging me and go to bed. I repeat, call it a day. Now. I said go to bed. Yum.
Stub.
Broadcasting from a top-secret location deep in the heart of the country, you're listening to The Pirate Lou Show with your host, me, Pirate Lou. Today we'll be counting down the finest ballads.
Some truly wonderful classic music coming your way. Don't forget this weekend, there's the Modern Guilt Symposium at Canute College. Some wonderful workshops for all of us to attend. I'll be at the workshop for people who feel like they should be recycling more. For more information, visit the bulletin board at any local organic food store.
All right, if you ask me, what we need is an entirely new coaching team. I'm sick of watching the Bisons finish 20 points down.
And that little girl grew up to be none other than Mary Shelley. And that's the end of what I was talking about.
You're listening to Disagree About the News.
Hi, Marty. This is Carl from Castleton, longtime listener, first-time caller. Just want to say that I am sick up to here of my tax money going to build new roads. When I was a kid, they promised hover cars. Where are the hover cars? All right, you have a good show.
That's right. Did someone tell you?
$64.73.
How much would you expect to pay for this top-of-the-line product?
NTOT FM 108.9.
All right, stay sharp. This system is starting to look really good.
I don't appreciate that segue, but everything is fine. And it's going faster by the second. Soon no one is watching the tornado. Everyone is just watching the truck fly down the road. Finally, the guy just yells out, "You sure got a lot of crazy drivers in this state." None of us had the heart to tell him. Exactly, so while he's just pointing and yelling, there goes his truck down the hill picking up speed. So this guy is out there and he's just yelling, "There's a tornado over there! Does everyone see the tornado?" Just a crawl, but still, who does that? So the guy, it's his first time out seeing a system, at least I hope it is. He jumps out of his truck while it's still moving.
Please, she's a number inflator if there ever was one. 6 people confirming one storm cloud is not 6 confirmations. We really could use a nice data set on a non-tornadic supercell. Now that's an idea. Why didn't I think of that? Brooke, it'd be really cool if you'd share your data. I mean, really, it's just the polite thing to do. Perfect. All right, that's not the system I'm excited about anyway. All right, good. That's what I like to hear. Tell me what we're looking at. You're going to have to flip 3 switches, 1 in each group, to get it started. All the lights need to be set to blue before it starts working properly. Remember, the lights won't turn until you activate them. Since Canute could care less about providing working equipment, we're stuck with this garbage. You're going to have to take care warming it up since it's about twice your age. It's your lucky day, Nancy. Since I don't feel like wrestling with the prehistoric Doppler unit, you're going to do it for me. What's the word? You finished? Almost done? How are things coming on that Doppler? Can you hurry it up a little? Make sure you keep those cables in order. If those cables get mixed up, it will be days before I can get them resorted. Don't forget, the top cable goes in the first plug and the bottom goes in the last plug. There it goes again! Shoot! We've got to get this back up and running quickly. Come on, Debbie, let's get going. Have you seen Frosty's photos? You really should check them out. That kid is nuts. Hurry it up. When I was just getting into chasing, we had next to no equipment. It was all instinct. Now that was the way to do it. Hello? Oh. We have a bad connection. You should try me again in about half an hour. You drive like you're 80. The number on the sign is the speed limit, not the number of hours it should take to get to the next town, you know? Weather changes quickly around here, so you've always got to stay focused when you're in the field. Even when it's a nice day out, you want to keep an eye on the sky. Look at that. There is nothing for miles.
You worry about keeping up your part of the deal. I've got everything and everyone under control out here. No one suspects a thing, Brooke. Hey, I know what I'm doing here.
I don't think they like that. Make sure you catch all of them. How many of those things are there? Could you speed it up a little? The sooner you get rid of those things, the better. Ugh, mice. Those things give me the creeps. Well, finally. Now take 'em outside and dump 'em. The spring house out on Old Orchard Road. That should be far enough away. Let 'em go there. That tornado you just saw.
Don't plug that into there! Do I know Nancy? Call back anytime. Call me as soon as you learn anything new. Get out there and see who's sabotaging my machines. Anything you need, just give me a call. Bad timing, ND. Unless you're caught up in a twister, maybe you should call back later. Did you forget something? Didn't we just talk? Unfortunately, the thing is, there's not one person on the team there that wouldn't be capable of something like this. Good hunch, but do you have anything else? Now there's a thought, ND. I think you might be right. Doesn't take much skill to break a machine, but to tweak it so that it's doing its job differently, now that takes some mechanical smarts. ND, haven't heard from you in too long. You closer to figuring out who's been tampering with my machines? Well, that's a long story. I'll have to tell you some other day, when we're not both so busy. Well, now that you mention it, no, not really. All the really good ones got done before I came on the scene. Would have liked to come up with something big, like the clock, or the car, or the zipper. But that's the drawback of being a modern-day inventor. I'll be honest, most of the inventing I do is just gluing one thing onto another, like the phone radio or the thermometer pen. It's not exciting, but it's what the public seems to want. Let me see now. Krollmeister particle decelerator, Krollmeister salad cannon, well, the whole line of salad dressings, of course, and then there's, not a clue. A lot. Never took the time to count. Now, I don't know much about Brooke, except that she's pushing hard for that #1 spot. Very ambitious and very smart. A woman with that kind of talent doesn't need to sabotage her competitors, but that doesn't mean that she wouldn't. You understand what I'm saying? Now that's some good detective work. You want to make sure that we're not overlooking what's going on with the other team, am I right? You stay close to the both of them. Report back to me when you're done. What about Debbie? Plotting? How so? I wouldn't be so sure about that. There can be a lot of money to be made in the sale of storm footage. If I were Frosty, I'd be jumping at the chance to get out of that restrictive contract he's under. I'd keep an eye on somebody like that. Well, good. Don't hold back. Tell me everything you know. What's up with the shutterbug? Frosty, is it? But he's not your only suspect. Interesting. You'll make sure to keep a close eye on that one. Now, tell me what you've dug up on the team so far. Tell me about this Scott character. You had better, ND. I've got my hands full down here at the warehouse. I don't have time to follow up and make sure you're getting things done out there, all right? Well, that's no excuse. In fact, it's all the more reason to call me and keep me up to the latest on all the happenings going on out there. Oh, good. Not that I was worried that you would. Not that I was worried at all, actually. I'm not the type to worry. Not a good time? Hardly. ND, one of my assistants just showed me footage taken by those storm chasers you're with, and they get way too close to the storm. You don't need to be getting that close to the storm. That's why I invented those machines. Now, ND, just when were you planning on bringing me up to speed on all the goings-on out there in Tornado Alley? Krollmeister here. This Nancy Drew? ND, I expected better from you. The only goals worth having are the big ones. Anyone can make a little goal and reach it. Who cares about that? If people only set reasonable goals, we would have only walked near the moon and not on it. Well, ever since the blow to the head, she seems to really enjoy reality TV. But aside from that, she's still the same old Prudence, if for better or for worse. Can you keep it together for 2 seconds? What was I saying? Oh, yeah, none of your business. That is none of your business. But if you really need to know, Prudence Rutherford, she's the one who recommended I hire you, by the way, was over, and I'm afraid she took a pretty hard knock to the head when the storm came through so suddenly. Once I know I've made sure that no one else is ever caught off guard by a storm again, then I can move on to the next project. Until then,
I just can't. See, Andy, most things in the world can be tamed, or at least tricked into behaving the way you want. Not weather. Ever since a tornado tore through my home, I've been obsessed with figuring out what makes those twisters tick. Pretty sure I built the machinery to do the job. That's why I need you to make sure nothing too funny is going on. Not a thing but ambition. And you know that that's a slippery virtue sometimes. She wants to lead that team, but you gotta ask yourself, what's she willing to do to get what she wants? That's no small question to figure out. Let's see, nothing too substantial. As you're no doubt aware, Scott's got quite the reputation as a crotchety old misanthrope. And, not surprisingly, that seems to have really affected his career. Everyone agrees he used to be the fastest rising star in the field, but those days are long gone. I understand that feeling, ND. Sometimes, when I'm working on a new product, the solution seems to be nowhere in sight. But if you keep marching forward, you'll come face to face with that solution before you know it. Just the way it works. Aside from Frosty's impressive collection of unpaid parking tickets, nothing yet. Who knows? Just made it up. I'd keep an eye out for something like that, though. And get a cat. Sounds like you've got a reverse Pied Piper situation. Is this one of those sound of one tree clapping in the woods questions? Never was much good at those. I don't like the sound of that one bit, ND. From now on, I want you reading maps, too. Like the old saying goes, trust but verify. I'm going to do some snooping on my end to see what kind of people you're dealing with out there. They might be worse than I suspected. Andy, I didn't become the third richest man in the lower mid-central Midwest region by not knowing when someone was telling me the whole story. And you certainly are not telling the whole story here. Of course it would. It takes a top-notch mind to put together something as complicated as a GPS device, but I don't need to tell you that. It's always easier to destroy something than it is to make it work well. Why do you ask? Afraid I don't. Never gave much thought about oil, to tell you the truth. Dig a hole, make a fortune. I guess it's appealing for some people, but to me it's just plain boring. I'm more interested in making than finding. Never mind. I can't even work up a good lecture these days with this crew. What can I do for you, ND? All right then, let me continue. Really? Let me go to the old playback. Can't expect me. Minus scrape, big crash. Nope. Afraid that's not how I remember it. Oh, come on, people! That's not even ours! Now, what was I saying? Was I lecturing you, or were we talking? ND, much as I love to help you with every small detail of your... Truth is, I never have been one to worry, but darned if these storms don't have my socks twisted in a bunch something serious. Well, shoot, add diplomacy to your list of skills, ND. And what else can I do for you? All right, then. What did you think of the Krollmeister salad cannon? You're not a yes man, are you, ND? Yes men are dangerous. They get you thinking you're the greatest thing on earth, and the next thing you know, you're making the dumbest decisions that ever could be made. If I say so, not only do I say so, so do millions of Kroll Silmers. Now stop trying to poke the bear and start trying to solve the mystery. Now there's no such thing as something that is just a machine. Every Krollmeister product is a work of art. That's why I brought you on board, ND. I need you to... Terrence! The arc welder is not a toy! I gotta run, ND. You get in there and scare me up some clues. Call me back whenever you need, and if things aren't too hectic at the lab, I'll help you out as best I can. I was being metaphorical, ND. Foxes don't talk, and grapes aren't known to be great listeners. But the long and the short of it is, my products don't break. It must be sabotage. Krollmeister products never break. It's always time for this story. Well, actually, it's a long story, and I forget the beginning, and most of the middle. But at the end, the fox turns to the grapes and says, "My machine's breaking? That's 8 kinds of preposterous, and 2 kinds of unbelievable, and another kind of, something else." You ever hear the story about the fox and the grapes, ND? Shoot, that's because I am always really busy. Government just asked me to make them a Krollmeister particle decelerator. Guess my Krollmeister particle accelerator worked a little too well. But seriously, I have to finish this thing soon or we're all in a lot of trouble. Now tell me, what is going on out there in Tornado Alley? Now that doesn't sound like the Nancy Drew I hired. I was told that you were one of those feisty, go-getting, moxie-having, mystery-solving machines. Not some polite, phone conversation-having mystery... not solver. Just teasing you, ND. Mind if I call you ND? ND, I've been waiting for your call. If you mix those two beakers, I'm gonna have to switch insurance companies again. I trust you've been kicking up dust and giving those jokers some serious what for out there in Twister country. Grollmeister Industries, make it quick. ND, what can I do for you? Grollmeister here. You still got a saboteur on the loose. Well, what else is new? Nancy, good to hear from you. I've been watching the weather. Things look like they've been pretty rough out there. Glad to hear you made it through okay. Nope. Well, it was nice talking to you. Goodbye. Come on, people. Let's focus here. Oh, just a moment. This is why we can't have nice things in the workshop. All right, go ahead, caller.
That was pretty darn quick. Something else I can do you for? Just can't stay away, huh? I was just gonna say the same thing. Y'all take care now. See you soon. Stop by anytime. Y'all hurry back. Don't let them canoots work you too hard. Atta girl. Here. Head over to the snack aisle. You can update the display I got set up over there. Sure, long as you do a little something for me. Might be for the best. Have the darndest time keeping them straight. Happens every time I go on stage. That might just be for the best. Well, hello, I didn't see you there. Y'all want to pull up a seat and come on a journey that's about our fair town called... I'm forgetting. Keep it together now. Pause. Start again. Our story starts... Oh, shoot. I plumb forgot my lines. Oh, it's last year all over again. I take it back. You're uninvited. You don't want to see this. It ain't going to be pretty. That's right. It's going to be one Jim Dandy show. Want to hear a little sample? Can't say as I have, but truth be told, I'm not paying all that much attention right now. About out the door to the Grange. Got to get ready for opening night. Not nosy, just... All right, nosy. But she and Scott are just so much alike. Guess it makes sense they'd always be checking up on each other. Oh, without a doubt. Anything and everything, but mostly she wants to know about any accidents y'all been having lately. You'd think y'all were just about the only thing worth babbling on about in the whole state from the way she's asking questions. Now I'm not one to talk bad about people around here, but that was Brooke. She heads up the other team of chasers. Maybe you heard of her. That's real nice and all, but between you and me, I can't stand the new stuff on the market these days. Too sweet. Give me clove bark snappers any day. Or Dr. Bellerton's reconstituted rhubarb cordials. Now those what can is worth saving your pennies for. You offering me some of my own candy there now? There. Them things don't grow on trees, you know. Here you go. You are a fine young lady. Yeah? Well, maybe I'm kind of tired of selling you stuff, being such an all-around nice guy. Know what I'm saying? That's the spirit here. So you just go on over there and have at it. Here's one of them moon chunks to use as bait. I want you to catch them for me and get them out of here before the health department hears about it. They give me a hard enough time already for selling all them Cocoa Kringle products. Well, this time when I peaked, guess you have to just keep trying. Sorry, no mousetrap for you, not yet. Them pictures still weren't quite right. You made a mistake in the wind speed column. Well, truth be told, I was peeking over your shoulder for a while. Looked to me like... Actually, you deserve more than that. I appreciate you putting it back like that. That was real nice of you. You know, a good deed like that deserves a good reward. If you can put it back in the display, I'd be truly grateful. He's not going to find oil out there. Oh, he might find a puddle or two. That's about it. Ross Oil Company pumped these parts dry decades ago. Anyways, we'll put the cat out of the rain. Where was it? Well, guess I'm just going to have to whittle me up a fake one and stick it in the display. Just be our little secret, okay? Only thing it's good for is finding oil. That's pretty much just a superstition. For most folks, that is. Some people around these parts still swear up and down Divine and Rod's work. Well, now that's a good question. It was there when I dusted, and that was just last week. Or was it last month? Anyway, I can't imagine why anybody'd take it. Missing? Why, I had no idea. How do you like that? Somebody must have took it. Head over to the snack aisle and pick up a moon chunk. Smells so cheesy you could swear you were in Wisconsin. Head over to the snack aisle and buy yourself a moon chunk. Should be just what the mouse doctor ordered. So what you need? Atta girl. You can update the tornado display I got set up over there. Just move the stuff on it around till it compares the old Vegeta way of saying how bad a twister is. You know, F1, F2, F3 and such. Until it correctly compares that scale to the new one. You know, the enhanced Vegeta scale. EF1, EF2, and EF3, and the like. The scale they switched over to a couple years back. You might have to do a little reading, but you can do that for me in return for the mousetrap, right? Long as you do a little something for me first. Sure don't, but just so happens I got something like that. Right over there in the museum. I'll even let you borrow it. Well, I think I could lend it to you, sure. Got yourself an infestation over there, huh? Well, whether you want to catch 'em or do something a little more permanent to 'em. In my experience, nothing gets those critters' attention faster than the smell of cheese. Gonna be. If you're not out chasing twisters opening night, you should come. We're pretty near sold out, but I'll try to save you a ticket. About this place, of course, from covered wagon times up to today. All about the men and women that made this town what it is today. I'm playing Percy Rutherford Hardcastle, town sheriff and the area's first librarian. Back in those days, wasn't no small thing to return a book late. Come to think of it, it's just like that moment right before the storm hits, when the world goes dark and quiet, and all you can do is cross your fingers and hope for the best. Now that's a true fact if there ever was one. Nothing quite like being backstage when the lights go down. I'd say they've always been reality-prone. If you're the type to chase down tornadoes, the reality of the situation is that you're pretty much giving trouble your home address. But from what I've been hearing, this year's been especially bad. What else you need? That I am. You watch this dark, rampaging monster go tearing across the land, wrecking everything it touches, till all of a sudden it ain't there no more. You can't go after it, you can't make it put everything back, you can't even get even with it, 'cause it's just gone. All you can do is stand there thinking, now that ain't fair. That just ain't fair. Of course I have. Pretty much everybody I know has. You research types at all your meters and sensors and recorders and such, chasing around out there thinking you're doing something all big and important. Know what the only real thing you can do when you see a tornado is, Miss Nancy Drew? Watch. If somebody find a way to do that, know what they do next? Charge admission. 'Cause there's nothing else you can do. You warn everybody it's coming, then you just watch. Silliest thing I've heard tell of. Around here, you're lucky if a tornado don't come chasing after you. People who do that are just asking for it. Nope. She had to drive over to Chickasha. Sister's lumbago's acting up. Anything else I can help you with? Ma? Oh, she's around, and, running errands and such. She'll be in later.
Great. I was hoping so, but after something that big, thought I'd better check. While I got you on the phone, something's come up, and I could really use you down at the store. Please, hurry. Nancy. Good. Glad I got you. You all right now? Everybody get through that storm?
Just a ma and pa way of saying nice to meet you. A little something I invented to make coming in here a little more interesting for tourists. In fact, go ahead and take it. You could use it or keep it as a souvenir. Pa pennies, like this here. Not for y'all. You canoe folk got a lot of credit here, so instead of paying cash for food and equipment and such, you can charge it. You want to buy something that's not on Debbie's list, like something from the snack section, you got to pay for it using pa pennies. I'm kind of your emergency action central. Keep your numbers right here by the phone. Debbie fill you in the way things work around here yet? Yeah, that they did. Debbie, she told me to keep an eye out for you and gave me your number. See, if something bad happens while you're all out there chasing twisters, it's important to have a way to get help. Staying connected in an emergency is just about the best way to stay safe. 523-555-4399. How'd you like them apples? Not bad for an old codger, huh? Why, I know all sorts of stuff about you. I even know your cell phone number, Miss Nancy Drew. Let's see, ain't you, Miss Smarty Boots? Little Miss Gal from up north who's helping out tornado chasers from the Canute. I know what your name is. You're that gal from up north, Nancy, Drew. That's me. That's what everybody in 100 miles knows me as, Pa. But I tell you something most of them don't know. That's more like it. Welcome to Mom and Pa's. What's going on there, Nancy? What can I do for you, little lady? Well, if it ain't my favorite customer. You need more cheese, don't you? Them mice don't look hot to me. Catch all them mice? Good for you. You're here, and you brought the mouse trap. Good. Because I've been seeing a lot of mice lately, especially by that homesteader display in the museum. Must have a nest right beside it. Well, congratulations, Nancy. From what I've seen, you got that Vegeta display set up just perfect. So go ahead and help yourself to that mouse trap. Y'all earned it. Done with that Vegeta scale display? No, ma'am. Sure thing. I suppose so.
Get over here right now.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You just grab anything you need now. Take some candy on the way out, too. It's all me. No. very smooth sailing with Scott's team is what I always say, but just remembered, I got a lot to do in the store. Better get to that. Yeah, oh, sure. It's been as slow as weeks, all. It's been nothing special to report now, I guess. Howdy, Brooke. Stocking up again so soon? Or you just back 'cause you missed me? Thanks for catching them mice, Nancy. You gotta catch them mice, Nancy. Now get back over there and hop to it. You can't leave, Nancy. There's still mice to be caught. You ain't going nowhere till you catch them mice. Thank you kindly. Now get 'em out of here before any tourists see 'em. Howdy. Come on over here and be friendly.
Thanks. Okay, talk to you later. Sounds good. Talk to you soon. Stepping in at the most dangerous and chaotic period of the chase season, I'm going to have to keep my wits about me to stay on top of the sabotage and the storms. I'll be joining the team undercover, replacing their previous intern, Pete, who wound up with a broken leg after one of the accidents stranded him directly in the path of a storm. Since his team has been expected to win the $100 million grant at stake in the upcoming Green Sky Storm competition, Krollmeister suspects that there is something far more sinister than simple equipment failure going on. PG Krollmeister has hired me to investigate a series of equipment meltdowns that have been plaguing the prominent Oklahoma storm research team he sponsors. As for me, well, I've had just about enough stormy weather for one season. Love, Nancy. Yesterday, a postcard from Pa arrived. After the town repaired the storm damage to the Grange, they restaged the town play. They even added a new part about the storm, including a scene where a certain someone unlocks the storm shelter. As long as it wasn't played by Pa in a wig, I'm happy. Pa says that he remembered most of his lines this time, at least the important ones. While the winners of the Green Skies event won't be determined until fall, things are looking pretty good for Debbie's team. With the new equipment, they've logged the most storm data. And although Debbie won't be showing anyone until she's 100% sure, the team may have made a verified touchdown prediction. And when I got home, I found a surprise delivery myself as well. The first shipment of my lifetime supply of Cocoa Kringle bars. Krollmeister also sent me a note telling me to keep my bags packed. He has a special surprise trip planned for me as a way to say thanks. As long as it's someplace where the clouds stay in the sky like they belong, I'll be happy to go. Chase has given up on his dreams of finding oil. Even if he hadn't, he wouldn't have the time to look. Debbie's keeping him too busy. Free from having to spend his days fixing Scott's mistakes, last I heard he was going to assist Debbie in her classes in the fall. Chase has finally had the opportunity to show off his keen sense for weather. Now that Debbie has accepted Scott's old position as head of the Canute Storm team, he's become her right-hand man. With Scott out of the picture, Frosty renegotiated his contract. Now that he's able to pursue his own projects on the side, he's just about doubled his output. He's launched his own business, and when he's not getting pelted by softball-sized hail, you'll find him in his studio. 2 days after I told Krollmeister I had found the source of the sabotage and the change in team leaders, Debbie's chase team was greeted by a surprise delivery, the next generation of Krollmeister's storm tracking and detection equipment. Without Scott's ever-present storm cloud hanging over the team and his constant sabotaging, the team really began to hit its stride with Debbie in charge. Debbie, always the organizer, decided to combine the remaining members on both teams for the remainder of the season. Word spread quickly about Scott's misdeeds, and soon Brooke Tavenaugh, the rival chase team leader, found herself out of a job as well. With the storm season almost over, it looked like both teams were out of the competition. He received community service for destruction of public property and interfering with public safety records. He didn't fare so well with the college. They fired him quicker than lightning hitting a bee-stung greyhound, as they say around here. So it looks like he'll actually be serving the community now, instead of just pretending to, even if it's just by picking up garbage by the side of the road. Although he was pretty seriously shaken up in the crash, Scott came to in time to see Frosty arrive with the police. Dear Ned, once the theater was successfully evacuated, Debbie and Chase were able to follow the GPS tracking signal to the spring house, where Scott and I had safely weathered the storm. Well, I think the worst is past. Oh, I remember how to do this. Can you remind me how to fix the fuses? Including diagonals? So does this one. These symbols match Scott's. This must be some sort of code. I should really fix Scott's phone first. I can't leave now. I need to fix Scott's phone. I'd better find us some shelter. I wonder if there's a way to get into the spring house. Scott! Made it.
Hi, you've reached Nancy Drew's phone. Please leave a message with all of the details, and I'll call you back.
Should I drive into one of the pull-offs for tracking the storm? I'll be sure to download the photos into the gallery when we get back to the farmhouse. Don't have enough money for that. What's that? I need to get out of here. It looks like I need to connect the red beam to the red sensor and the blue beam to the blue sensor. I think I might start taking pictures here first. All right, where's the best place to go? Morning, Debbie. What's up? Hi, Debbie. How's it going? Good morning. Good morning, Debbie. Looks like the perfect new home for the prairie dogs. I'd better empty out the vacuum here. I'll have to try them back in just a little bit. I need to connect my phone first. Here you go, little guys. Good luck in your new home. I should return these items before I leave. I can come back to shop later. Whatever that is, I can't afford it right now. Don't have enough money for that. That's too expensive. Looks like I've got everything I need. I should stay here and find a new home for the prairie dogs. I bet I can find a new home for the prairie dogs right around here. I should look for somewhere to relocate these prairie dogs. I need to find a new home for the prairie dogs first. I have enough of those already. One will be enough. What else do I need? I don't need to have 2 of those. I already have one of those. Brooke's been paying Scott off? He must already be at the theater. I'd better make sure to fill all of the traps. This place could really use a cat. Again? All right, Mouse. This house isn't big enough for the both of us. Mice! I agreed to tornadoes, but I did not sign up for mice. These are all of the windmill. That must be where Scott's been meeting Brooke. I bet I can find something that will turn this machine on. It looks like it won't accept paw pennies. No pennies for me this time. I'd better try again. No, that's not right. That's not it. That doesn't look right. All right, got it. I can continue, but I can't carry any more pennies. I can't carry any more paw pennies. I can keep fixing these circuits, but I've earned all of the pennies I can carry. Looks like I've earned all of the pennies I can carry. I'd like to know what they're talking about. I promise. Yeah? Why's that? What's that? She seems to take her job very seriously. I don't know. What clouds? The chasing bug? What changed your mind? Oh, yeah? But I fixed it. That's out of my price range. That costs too much. That's too much money. All right, that's how it should look. That should do it. That's the footage from Frosty's camera. I'm sure of it. It did record after all. This doesn't seem right. Looks like garbage. Don't need this. Yes, I win! Score! Nancy Drew wins again. And that's how the West was won. I win. Bring on the pennies. Oh yeah, take that, Sooners. I won! I shouldn't take Chase's pennies. What am I doing? Those belong to Chase. Neither a lender nor borrower be. Shame on you, Nancy Drew. I shouldn't steal. I'm on my way, over and out. When I confronted him about selling the team out to Brooke, he went berserk. I'm here. I think Scott knocked me out. That's still no... That's not what it sounded like when I overheard you talking to Frosty. You two wanted to get rid of Scott, and from where I was standing, you sure didn't sound very concerned about safety. It kind of looks like the money box I found at the farmhouse. What's that flash? I should go check it out. I fixed it. Here you go, Frosty. Okay. I'll get it to you. I'm trying my best. I'm working on it. Something tells me this isn't the right car. Nope, not this one. I don't think this is the right one. This isn't the right car. I shouldn't drive this one now. Not this one. Wrong car. I think I caught all of the mice. I should relocate the prairie dogs first. I don't think the prairie dogs want to come inside. Can't bring the prairie dogs inside. I shouldn't bring prairie dogs in the house. I can't bring the prairie dogs in here. My brain said stop eating all that candy, but did I listen to it? If I never see another candy bar again, it'll be too soon. From now on, candy in moderation only. I think I had too much candy. I don't feel so good. I just have too much. I can't fit any more in my pockets. I have too many. I can't hold any more. I have too many pennies. I can't carry any more. No bed for me. I still have things to do. I can't hit the sack just yet. I can't turn in. I still have stuff to do. It's too soon to go to bed. I can't go to bed yet. Somebody on Scott's team probably dropped this. There, now they should work. The wind sure did a number on these things. There's pieces of them everywhere. Oh, I keep forgetting to release these mice. Don't worry, guys. I'll get you out of there. These little guys are probably hungry. I need to take them to that spring house and let them go. I need to let these mice go before they starve or something. I should go to the spring house and release these mice. Mice? I don't know. Looks to me like this was made by the knife I saw in Scott's office. I just saw a mouse over here. That's not the right way back to the farm. What is going on here? Somebody must have programmed this thing to give faulty directions. That's all of them. Don't worry, fellas. You're gonna like your new home. I need to take these mice somewhere safe. Whoops, I better get rid of the mice I've already caught before I try to catch more. This can wait. I don't feel like doing this now. I think I'll do this later. Yes! I did it! I got all the gears back on the rods. That won't work. The gears will overlap. Can't put a gear on this notch until I take off the gear that's blocking it. There's some kind of residue on the blade. Smells like coolant. That was a little weird. Who's he talking to? What a weird-looking stick. Somebody obviously put it here. But why? Well, finders keepers. That's the divining rod that's missing from the museum. I wonder if someone was trying to hide it. And stepped in that pool of oil over there in the process. That wasn't there before. Looks like Chase stepped in that oil puddle I saw by the sprinklers. Or are there other puddles of oil around here? I'm finished here! The divining rod that's supposed to be here seems to be missing. The weird stick I found by the spring house. It's the divining rod that's missing from this display. Finished for now. I think that's enough. I'm ready to collect my paw pennies. All done. I did it! The screen says it's initializing. I'm ready to try again. I'm going to give those fuses another shot. I'm back. I'm going to go and come back later. I'd rather not do this right now. I think I'll do this later. I think so. Yeah? Okay. But I've never fixed an LED display before. Sure. You got it. I got 'em. Will do. That ought to do it. That ought to do it. I finished that disaster kit for Scott. That's Scott. This headset must have some kind of wireless connection to his cell phone. Wonder who he's talking to. Brooke? That's the name of the leader of that rival Chase team. What's that sound? There, all fixed. Whoa, it's filled with money. I better take this and see who it belongs to. That's a weird piece of debris. Be right there. Yes, that's me. Looks like I need a key. Ah! Why don't you just quit? That's why you're meeting her way out here, so the people who've been looking up to you all this time couldn't see her paying you off. Enough to know you two are working together. You've been sabotaging your own team, haven't you? You've been doing everything you can to make sure Brooke's team wins and yours loses. When I was fixing the phone jack, I accidentally overheard the phone conversation you two had. I could hear it through the headset on your desk. You mean me, as opposed to Brooke? Guess I'll get going. I'll let you get back to work. I'll quit bugging you now. Right, but Pa did seem pretty certain. Pa tells me that you've been asking him about Brooke. Is that true? That's what he said. Oh, maybe Pa's mistaken. Everything you said in the article, it seemed like you genuinely cared about the safety of everyone in Tornado Alley. Do you feel guilty that you didn't put out the alert in time during the storm that killed Ma? I'm sorry I brought it up. That's not true. Do you remember that interview you gave after Ma died? I read it, and it seems like a lot has changed for you over the last few years. You seemed more concerned about the people in the path of the storms. You sounded much more excited about your work. I sure hope so. Oh, Chase asked me to give you this estimate from the auto repair shop. Would you like some candy? Why don't you get a cat for your mice problem? I heard someone talking about some Brooke person Who is she again? Does she deserve to win? What's she like? What did you mean when you said before that the school would sell the farm if you lose? Was that Frosty? But that's not true. I fixed it in plenty of time. What do you mean, thanks to me? I mean, it's one thing when they're out in the open, but what happens when they hit a populated area? That isn't cool at all. I think what they are is cool, but after today, I'm sure not a fan of what they do. Not really, no. You bet I do. I changed my mind. See ya. You know, just forget it. Bye. On second thought, never mind. Later. That must really be disappointing. Actually, that tornado is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I can't wait to see another one. What do you mean? What else would you like me to do? What goes into a disaster kit? Well, yeah. As I was driving up to the farmhouse, it wasn't that big, but it sure threw a lot of debris around. Just a fair job? Thank you. Are you the person I'll be reporting to? Did you see the tornado? Have a good day. I've enjoyed talking to you. Good talking to you again. I'll let you get back to work. Not yet, but I'm working on it. Hey, there might be something to that. I have a few hunches, but it's still a little too soon. I was thinking, these are some pretty complicated machines. Wouldn't you have to know quite a bit about their inner workings to sabotage them? How did you get started as a... What exactly is it you do? Do you have a favorite invention? Just out of curiosity, how many products do you make? Yes, that's right. Can you tell me anything about Brooke Tavenaugh? She's up to something, but I can't tell what. Well, I overheard them talking. They were talking about how someone, I assume Scott, was close to the edge, and they were going to do something about it. He and Debbie are plotting something, and whatever it is sounds a little sinister. Frosty, he's reckless and impulsive, and definitely up to something. But it's hard to say if he's our guy. Right. Of course, but he's a little hard to read. There seems to be some distance between him and the rest of the team. It might be because he wants it that way, but there could be something else. It's almost like no one fully trusts him. Okay, I'll make sure to do that. Okay, I'll be sure to keep my distance. Hello, PK. Now's not a very good time to talk. Sorry, I meant to call. Actually, this isn't the best time. Yes, it's me. Oh no, was she all right? Prudence Rutherford? Are you two friends? Anything else about Debbie? That's a big goal. Maybe a little too big. I didn't know you got hit by a twister. Was everyone okay? Nothing turned up about Scott or Debbie? If you ask me, there's something suspicious about every last member of the team. Were you able to find anything out in your research on the team? What's that? No, someone actually seems to be luring mice into the house. Do you know why someone would want to lure mice into their house? Thanks. I'm not sure if I'm making a big deal out of nothing, but our GPS unit malfunctioned and sent me into the path of a big-time storm. My GPS went a little wonky and sent me right into a storm, and I don't think it was an accident. Just curious. Would it be possible for someone to sabotage a GPS device? Do you know anything about oil deposits in this part of the country? Talking. Technically. Any idea why Debbie would be turning down better jobs to stay at Canute? I was wondering, why are you so concerned about tornadoes? You must have a lot of other things to worry about. It was a little too... powerful for the job. I'm not. I was being honest. Tell me about it. I couldn't agree more. If you say so. Why are you so concerned about these machines? No, but this really isn't the time. But why would anyone want to do that? That doesn't seem right. Do you have any idea who would want to sabotage your machines? And why? Do you think it's possible that your machines are just breaking on their own? Not exactly sure yet. I was hoping you could give me a little more information. Well, you sounded really busy. Lecturing. It was pretty intense. We would have gotten some great data, but... Okay, I guess I'll try back later. Wait, hang on. We need to talk. It's Nancy Drew. It sounds like you're a little busy. Is this a good time? Hi, it's Nancy. Have a good day. I've enjoyed talking to you. Good seeing you again. I'll let you get back to work. Well, it was nice meeting you. Thanks. Can I pay for these supplies now? Oh, yeah, I guess I don't have everything I need for the disaster kit. I should double-check the list. Looks like I don't have enough money. I should figure out a way to get everything I need without going over budget. Does this look about right? Thanks. I finished up the candy display. Sure. What's that? I need a bigger tube for a vacuum Chase is building for me. Can you help me out? I better let you get back to getting ready. Sorry, no time right now. Of course. Have you seen Scott recently? Scott comes in here asking about her? Really? What does she ask about? Is she always so interested in our team? She was really nosy. Who is that woman asking all of those questions about Scott? Sure am. Want some candy? Sorry. Thanks. I know. I'm afraid I need another moon chunk. I sure did. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So if you'll excuse me, I have some mice to catch. Ooh, I'll need that. Thanks. Actually, I'm kind of tired of catching mice. I can do that for you, sure. I returned the rod to the display for you. Turns out Chase Rutherford was using it to look for oil out at the farmstead, out in the spring house. You'll be happy to know I found your missing divining rod. You'll be happy to know I not only found your missing divining rod, but I put it back in the display. Did you know the divining rod that's supposed to be on display in your museum is missing? Why would somebody take it? When did you last see it? Do you have anything for sale in here that smells like cheese? Do you sell anything that smells like cheese? If you insist. No problem. Always a catch. You bet. I need a mousetrap that will allow me to catch mice instead of kill them. Do you sell anything like that? That mousetrap you have in the museum, the one that lets people catch mice instead of kill them? Do you think that maybe I could borrow that? If you had to catch some mice, what would you use for bait? That sounds interesting. So what's this play about? Debbie tells me you're pretty involved in the local theater. Have Scott and his team always been so accident-prone? Sounds like you're talking from personal experience. So do you ever chase tornadoes? So you've seen a tornado? Even if they're doing it so someday they'll be able to predict where and when a tornado's going to hit? Where's Ma? Still not here? I was just wondering, where's the Ma part of Ma and Pa's? Okay, I'll be right there. Yeah, we're all fine. Using what? Hey, great. Thanks. Don't things work the way they normally do in stores? Not really, no. Actually, I haven't really met her yet. Someone on the Canute team told you I was coming, didn't they? How'd you know that? That it's not your real name? My name's, I take it you're Pa? I think I've got everything I need. You tell me. Still working on it. To be honest, I haven't even started it. Haven't done that. Can't check that off yet. Still have to do that. These go beyond ambitions. From reading these letters, it's clear that she expects Scott out, and soon. Not hopes he'll leave, expects him to be gone. Now, either she has some information that none of the rest of the team has, or... I'm trying to fix a sprinkler system. Can you help? Do you know how to place warning sirens? I'm having some trouble catching all of these mice. I'm having some trouble fixing the television. Do either of you know anything about the Fujita scale? I think I need help fixing this engine. I'm having some trouble fixing this Doppler equipment. Any advice? I can't figure out how to relocate these prairie dogs. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's almost a little creepy that you know that. I can't figure out how to correctly assemble a set of fuses for one of the cars here. Any advice, Joe? I can't get pictures of all the clouds that I need. I could really use some help working on the weather balloon circuitry. I need help reconfiguring this camera, and fast. 74 is already in one corner. I bet that means 78 is right next to it. I need to reattach the cables on our Doppler radar, but I can't move them out of order. Any advice? I can't figure out how to fix this antenna. Do you have any ideas? That's it for now. I'll check back with you in a bit. I'd better get to the case. Unlikely. Do you know why anyone would want to attract mice into the house where we're staying? Well, if you get stumped, you can ask me for help for a change. Well, a lot of people have tried. How's your trip going? What are you in the middle of? So what did you mean? None taken. What do you mean when you say it might be revenge? I think so. So you're saying that whoever did this probably didn't know a whole lot about cars? What do you mean, not smart sabotage? Any clue why someone would want to sever a coolant hose? Right. I'll keep an eye out for more clues. He might be able to buy the property for cheap and cash in on the oil. No wonder he seems so strange. It's hard to say. He definitely didn't want to be discovered. But that could really relate to anything. One thing is for sure. He's hiding something. If he did find oil, wouldn't it belong to the university anyway? Not out of the realm of possibility, but not very likely. Any idea why Chase would be acting so suspiciously about having oil on his boots? Keep my eyes open and follow the money. Right. I just have to figure out who it is and why. It's pretty vague, but the gist is someone's getting paid on the side and not in a legitimate way. I just found another box with a contract. When I first arrived here, I found that box with money in it, remember? The more time I spend here, the fewer things add up. Suspicion. I'll keep that in mind. You sure you're talking about the same Frosty here? The one with a high-pitched scream? I guess he's a little more popular than I knew. I won't. Would either of you happen to know much about storm chasing? I do. I just wish I had a little more to go on. Good point. Will do. It's a little hard to follow the money when it's just sitting in a box. I don't think it's going to be that simple. Well, when I first arrived, I found a mysterious unmarked box full of cash, but I still have no clue who it belongs to. Don't worry about it. It's under control. Sorta. Well, nearly. Frosty and I were driving to the staging area, and the funnel formed almost directly on top of us. I wish I knew. If you ask me, well, I guess it's too soon to ask me. Hard to say. He's got more energy than anyone I've ever met. Anyway, he hired me because he thinks that someone is sabotaging some of his high-profile new storm detection equipment. He sent me out to Storm Country to investigate. You know P.G. Crowmeister, the founder of the company that makes pretty much everything? So what exactly did come up? Why'd you have to leave so quickly? Vacation's not going so great, I take it.
Hey, Nancy, what's going on? Hi, Nancy. What's up? Nancy? What's the word?
Yeah, a little too close if you ask me. You know Frosty? Is this a bad time? I did fix it! I've harassed you enough. Thanks for all the advice. I'll catch you later. I need to get going. How do I download the photos? Do you know what goes in a disaster kit? Everything go okay on that chase I had to miss? Actually, I'm having problems finding cirrostratus. It's getting there, trust me. It seems from these letters that Debbie expects to take control of the team soon. Seems that Debbie's been turning down some pretty good employment opportunities. I found some very interesting letters. I guess not. What I don't know for sure is whether you two are also responsible for the other stuff that's happened around here, like the hose in Pete's car, and the equipment failure, and the mouse infestation. Guess I'll just have to tell Scott everything and see what he thinks. You two are trying to get Scott so frustrated that he finally blows and says or does something that will force the college to let him go. You've been shooting stuff for the team, but selling it on the sly, using the box under the yellow rose bush by the barn as a drop point. That's how you got all those scratches on your arm. And Debbie not only knows about it, she condones it. I overheard you two talking out in the cornfield. Or should I say, conspiring. I overheard you two talking out in the cornfield. Or should I say, conspiring. You've been selling the stuff you shoot for Scott to someone else. You use the box under the yellow rose bush by the barn as a drop point. That's how you got all those scratches on your arm. Sure, I'd be happy to. You're afraid of mice? On second thought, I'll see you later. I think I'm out of here after all. Bye. Forget I was here. See ya. How come Scott told me you didn't get any footage on that tornado we saw? But I did fix it. I'm sure of it. How long have you worked for Scott? Have you ever been, seriously injured? Did you get into a fight with a cat or something? Do you get along with everyone? Have you ever been tempted to quit? What happened to your arm? So when and how did you join up with Scott? Did you see one? You'd punched the what of the who? Still working on it. You've been secretly selling tornado footage to someone, haven't you? You and Debbie are trying to get Scott fired, aren't you? What's the matter? Did you just scream? Is there a story behind the name Frosty?
Electronics giant Krollmeister announced the development of their next-gen smartphone technology, the Telepaphone. Krolltronics are claiming the phone works by reading your thoughts. The full story at 10 o'clock.
A pleasant 73 degrees downtown, 71 at the airport. Corn futures again top the news, as corn futures remain steady despite news of overproduction. This day in history, 15 years ago today, marks one of the deadliest days in Oklahoma storm history, as tornadoes tore through the downtown area before the alert could be raised. By the time the storm had cleared, another exciting day as corn futures hold steady amidst heavy trading.
Whoa, oh my gosh! That looks right.
Corn!
Hey, how come I wasn't invited? Excellent performance today. Only one question remains. How did she get a car in the first place? And she handles it like a pro. Uh-oh, this could be trouble. Excellent handling around the turns. It's rare to see a young cow driver with this much confidence, especially on such a difficult terrain. This is Elsie's first time as a driver on the Oklahoma circuit, but already she's showing herself to be a talented driver and fierce competitor on the track. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. How many of you are there? I better get down into the cellar until the storm passes. I better look into that in the morning. Hello? Who's there? Hello? I'm looking for candles. Can you help? Someone is out there, right? Oh, shoot, the power must be out. Hello? Is someone there? Maybe I better go back and listen. I did it! I'm okay. Hello? Hello? That doesn't look right. This is not the best place to make a call. This can wait till I'm sure no one's listening. Bad idea. Someone could be eavesdropping. Can't use my cell phone here. I had got some extra candy. Would you like a piece? Would you like a little candy? Can I interest you in some candy? I'm gonna be sick. I can't just let Scott get away. That's it for now. I'll check back with you in a bit. I better get to work. I promise. You work on tracking the storm, and I'll work on tracking down Scott and the equipment. You need the equipment? Consider it done. Yes, I found a note in Scott's office. He's been meeting with Brooke, and she's been paying him off to sabotage the team. That's where he is right now. That makes sense. Okay. What's going on? I thought you were supposed to be at the theater right now. Maybe it's something you shouldn't be involved in. Yeah, maybe you're right. Frosty told me that he's been secretly selling his footage and that you're helping. No, sorry. What goes in the disaster kit again? Would you like some candy? Do you have any idea where he went? And I found the knife that was used to cut the coolant hose of Pete's car in Scott's office. All the broken equipment and bad stuff that's been happening around here, I think Scott's responsible. I'm pretty sure he's been manipulating the storm data. I overheard the tail end of a conversation between him and Brooke. Positive. I know it sounds paranoid, but I think someone tampered with it. Thanks to that faulty GPS, I wound up in the middle of a violent thunderstorm on my way back from fixing the antenna. I'm almost positive the footage on that tornado that hit the barn I just saw on TV is footage that Frosty shot. But the footage matched our view of the tornado exactly. But it was. I fixed it. I know it. I guess. Got it. What? But that's not fair. They're not hurting anyone. Sorry, just go on back to work. Forget it. I'm out of here. See ya. Never mind. I'll see you later. But how do I fix a phone? I've never done anything like that. Yes, let's go. Sure thing. Well, yeah, I think it would have been impossible to sleep through that. It sounds like you keep pretty busy. Why is there a file in the cabinet labeled Grange Theater? I guess it does sound pretty dumb, doesn't it? I think someone's been trying to lure them inside. To make the little piles of dried corn I told you about before. They look a lot more man-made than mouse-made. To make the little piles of dried corn I keep finding around here. They look a lot more man-made than mouse-made. Would you happen to know who threw out the sales receipt for dried corn that's in the wastebasket over there? I think you guys have got a mouse problem. I think maybe the little piles of corn I keep finding are what's causing it. I'd feel better if you kept it. You don't know whose it is? Thought maybe I better turn it in. I found this box out front when I arrived. Fix the sprinkler system? You think the problems are really Scott's fault? What do you want to do now that you've finished your degree? You must be pretty easygoing. Sounds like you've been having a lot of equipment problems. You've worked with him for 5 years? Are you still in school? Why is Scott in such a bad mood? You're the one who'll be giving me orders? Not since we got back. Well, I'm sorry you didn't get good weather. You didn't miss much around here either. Well, he had kind of a good reason. Does he do that a lot? Do you know why Scott is in such a bad mood? You're the one who'll be giving me orders? Join me in my next adventure, Shadow at the Water's Edge. I've already heard that the ryokan I'm staying in has quite a reputation. I'm not sure exactly for what, though. Well, I'll find that out soon enough. No matter what happens, this trip will certainly be exciting. It'll be nice to finally take a break from solving mysteries and to spend a few weeks without danger and dark secrets hiding around every corner. As a thank you for all of my hard detective work, P.G. Krollmeister has reserved a room for me at one of the area's best ryokans, or traditional inns. I've always wanted to visit Japan, from the exotic food and wild fashion in the cities to the nature and tradition in the smaller towns. I know there's going to be a ton to see and do. After risking my life chasing down deadly twisters, I think it's time for a change of pace. I've decided to join Bess and George on their trip to Kyoto, Japan. That's it for now. I'll check back with you later. I'll let you go. I'd better get going. I've bugged you long enough. I'm all done with the prairie dog vacuum. Here you go. It tried to lead me right into the storm. Well, mine tried to kill me. It seemed more tampered with than fixed. I think maybe they could use some more work. Mine went berserk and tried to lead me directly into the path of a storm. Did you fix the GPS devices? Do you have any circuit boards that need fixing? Do you know a way I could earn some paw pennies? Could I interest you in some candy? How was the chase that I missed? Was Scott there to see it? Congratulations. I take it that was a big deal. You know, I changed my mind. I think I will work on that transmission now. I'll take it to him. I'll give it a whirl. No problem. But I don't know how to put a transmission back together. Sounds like fun. But you're sure it was wired that way on purpose? Someone wanted that phone jack to explode? I'll keep this to myself, but you've got to keep being honest with me. And to make sure Canute dumps the place, you've been sabotaging the chase team. Did you really think you could find oil using an oversized stick? You've been spending all your spare time around here trying to find oil, haven't you? I'm sorry, you're right. I have no right to make such an accusation. I found the divining rod you took from Pa's museum, the one you left by the old spring house. Okay. That sounds a little rough. Are you sure they're going to be okay? How does it work? I went to Pa's and got a bigger tube for that prairie dog vacuum. This okay? Great, thanks. By the end of the day. I'm supposed to relocate those prairie dogs. How do I do that without hurting them? Couldn't you just give me the paw pennies? Sounds great. Me? Oh yeah, I've got a soft spot for any food that comes in a wrapper. Me? Heck no, I only eat healthy foods. How'd you wind up with a jar full of paw pennies? With all those paw pennies, you must be pretty popular. Don't you ever spend them? What's up with all the tokens in that jar over there on the workbench? Do you ever make paw penny loans? Don't you ever spend them? What's Debbie's relationship to Frosty like? Is he as good at what he does as he says he is? Do you like him? Frosty asked me to return this to you. Does he borrow stuff from you a lot? It can wait. See ya. You know what? Never mind. Bye. Oh, shoot, I forgot what I was going to say. Bye. If you're trying to catch mice, what's the best thing to use for bait? Does everyone on the team think that way? Will it bother you if his team doesn't win? How do you like working with Scott? Is there anyone on the team you don't like working with? Think he'll win the Green Skies competition? The guy I'm replacing, what was the matter with his car? Have mice done anything like that before? Do you still have the hose that got chewed up? Why do you think so much equipment has been malfunctioning lately? Is that why they call you Chase? Because you chase tornadoes? Is your name Chase because you like to chase tornadoes? Are you sorry you signed on? Any idea why that is? Why do you think so much equipment has been malfunctioning lately? How long have you been chasing tornadoes? Don't let me keep you from your work. That okay with you? From what I hear, you must be a busy guy. Do they call you Chase because you chase tornadoes? What do you do on the team? I'm still working on it. I'm going to work on it right now.
You've reached voicemail for
Krollmeister.
Please leave a message.
Despite their small stature, jackalopes can be very dangerous. If you encounter a jackalope in the wild, try to appear more important by name-dropping a few celebrities. If this fails, try offering the jackalope a small cash bribe. If you suspect that the jackalope is sleepwalking, do not wake him. That is very bad luck. Do not lie to the jackalope, or ask the jackalope if he knows any jokes. If you encounter a jackalope in the wild, yell loudly. Try to appear larger by removing your jacket over your head. Every 10 years, the jackalopes emerge from their mountaintop caves to forage for food. Rarely seen by humans, these graceful creatures are said to have the high spirits and speed of a jackrabbit, and the roundness of a cantaloupe.
Catch you on the flip side. Or she plans on pushing him off the team herself. All right, she's ambitious. All right, that's not very interesting at all. Continue. Now you tell me. Turns out that trying to solve the mystery of the Romanov family is really, really hard. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Now I've forgotten what I was saying. Oh yeah, acts of revenge always make less sense than sabotage. But remember, every act of sabotage reveals the nature of the saboteur. Think about what type of person would behave this way. Weren't you paying attention? I'm talking to Nancy. Revenge it's just never... Help me out here, Frank. Excellent. That's my take on the situation. Does that help at all? If it were me, not that I would ever do such a thing, I'd go after something a little harder to detect. Sure, driving without coolant will destroy a car, but the driver will get a warning before any real damage is done. It's more of an inconvenience than sabotage. If it's sabotage, it's not smart sabotage. It might be revenge. Probably. True, but if you had to just go with your gut feeling, what would you say was going on? Maybe he found a secret oil reserve and doesn't want anyone to know. Well, you know the easiest way to figure that out. Why's that? Half dozen sick situations aside, high-pitched screaming aside, it takes a lot of bravery to shoot out in the field. Alright, he might just have a point there. As storm photographers go, he's the one to watch. You should see if he'll give you lessons. Heck, you should see if you'll give me lessons as soon as we get this Romanov thing all tied up. Of course, he's only the most fearless shooter on the storm circuit today. Everyone's seen that one picture he took, the one with the grapefruit-sized hail flying right at the lens. You know what I'm talking about. Don't forget, this is some dangerous stuff. Don't worry, you'll get to the bottom of things. You always do. Well, then set it free or something. But you know what I mean. Agreed. The fastest way to the bottom of any mystery is to follow the money. Score! I call it the mystery of the train trip. You're not going to believe what's in here. Definitely a secret door. Textbook example. Hey, look, a hidden door. Yeah, that thing. Oh, it's fine. He's just mad we had to leave Paris without visiting the... What's that thing called? The big, boring, stolen stone thing? Awesome. Did you see any cows getting sucked up into the funnel or anything cool like that? Hey, I heard you guys got pounded by a major storm system a little while back. You get anywhere near the storm? Please tell me you're going to get right up in the middle of things. Frank and I just saw footage from last year's EF3 in Kansas on the internet, and unless you're with Frosty, he's the best. You can't blame me for this one. All I said was there's definitely something fishy about this place. But I say that at least 4 times a day. Is that Nancy? You don't need to give me that look. It's a legitimate question. Maybe someone called and asked you to name your favorite detective. Oh, like it hasn't happened before. Hey, look. I bet you there is something good on the other side of those cobwebs. Hi!
Turn left, right, now.
Turn left right now. Turn left right now.
Turn left, right, now. Drive, turn straight, with caution.
Drive, turn straight with caution. Drive with caution. Turn straight,
drive, turn straight, with caution.
Turn ahead, 999 leagues. Turn ahead, 999 leagues.
Turn ahead, 999 leagues. Turn ahead, 999 leagues. Reprogramming route.
Reprogramming route.
Reprogramming route. Turn left now.
Turn left now. Turn left next.
Turn left now. Destination reached.
Destination reached. Destination reached.
Destination reached. Nearing destination. Please proceed cautiously.
Nearing destination. Please proceed cautiously. Nearing destination. Please proceed cautiously.
Near destination. Please proceed cautiously. Continue driving. Reprogram destination if needed.
Continue driving. Reprogram destination if needed. Continue driving. Reprogram destination if needed.
Continue driving. Reprogram destination if needed. New destination processing.
New destination processing. New destination processing.
New destination processing. Turn right now. Turn right now. Turn right now. Turn now. Turn right. Error. Return home. Error. Return home. Error. Home. Return. Error. Return. Oh, construction ahead of car. Construction ahead car. Construction ahead of car. Construction ahead of car. Destination missing. Destination missing. Destination missing. Destination missing. Error ahead. Turn error. Error ahead. Turn error. Error ahead. Turn error ahead. Error ahead. Map database not found. Turn left. Map database not found. Map database not found. Turn left. Turn map left. Database not found. Turn left.
Hello again. Forget something? Look who's back. Turn back! You're driving away from the storm. Hello? Oh, check that out. No. No. Shoot. Video camera just died. Here, fix it. I've got to keep shooting stills. So you're Krollmeister's niece. We've got a lot of different formations to spot, so if you head on out to the Fraser Creek windmill, that'd be perfect right now. Okay, let's start taking pictures. I don't know what happened exactly, but we had the Midas touch. Every chase Scott pointed us to seemed to produce at least something of significance. This year, it's been hit or miss, with a lot of miss. You know, you should have been here last season. It was epic! I think we're getting close. Really? Oh, it's going to be a legendary video assembly studio, when it finally comes out. If you could maybe pull a few strings, I wouldn't be against it. You must have all of the latest gadgets. You have the new Kroll studio? Are we lost? Oh, wait, that looks familiar over there. No. Probably shouldn't say this considering what happened, but I like you so much more than the old intern. Looks like we've got some big fronts moving across the map the next few days. Yeah, that she does. Takes it a little too seriously sometimes, if you ask me. What do you think of Debbie? Then you haven't. First time I saw one, Debbie took me out for an ice cream sundae. I don't even like ice cream, but after getting yelled at like that, I needed something with sprinkles and a cherry on it. So, have you been on the business end of a Scott freakout yet? They're only near the North and South Poles, but they have this special way of catching the light, and from what I hear, it's amazing. Turns the whole sky red or green or yellow. I get enough money together, that's what I'm going after. They're the Bigfoot of clouds, extremely rare. People used to think they didn't exist. No one has gotten a good picture of them. You ever heard of nacreous clouds? The chasing bug. Happens to a lot of people. Once you see a few good storms, it gets in your blood or something. Suddenly, sunny days stop being nice and start being boring. So you got the chasing bug. Studying? It's hard to stay focused on some boring little book when there's so much going on outside. Yeah, I used to want to be a doctor. You know, I didn't always want to be a storm photographer. You're right. But we can't... No, you're right. It's time to get rid of him. I don't know how I feel about this anymore. This is not what I agreed to. I mean, when I said I'd help you, I didn't mean... It's roping out! Look at that! Knock that barn flat! I hope it was as abandoned as it looked. Uh-oh, we got some trouble. The funnel is headed right for that building. Woohoo! We're gonna get a twister! Don't forget me. Wrong way! Turn back! That's the idea. Keep trying. I'm getting some great shots here. What about you? The storm is the other way. You're going the wrong way. That's a good one. I'm getting some great stills, but I need video. These are some great shots. Let's go. Woohoo! The air is buzzing with electricity. Scott's gonna flip when he sees this footage. It's amazing out here. Woohoo! That's a beauty. The weather's really whipping up. Hurry up! Things are really picking up. Come on, get a move on. Are you still not done? This shouldn't be taking you this long. Get it together, Nancy. What are you doing? You've got to keep a sharp eye out or you'll miss what's right in front of you. This will help you identify the shots you need to take. When we get some good photos, we'll move on. Nancy, come over here. Just in time, thanks. Wow, Scott's got you doing a lot of work lately. I don't think we've met. Nice job. I'm supposed to remind you to check in with Debbie. She might need you to do something else.
You've reached voicemail for...
Frank?
Please leave a message.
Hey, Nancy! I don't know if you can hear me, but I sort of dropped the phone off the overpass. You should call later. This is gonna take a minute.
Sorry, can't have my phone on in here. We'll have to talk later.
Not a good time. Sorta in a little trouble here.
Nancy again? Probably a pocket call.
Well, it's a complicated machine. One thing you may want to do is take your time. You don't need to turn everything on at once. Take your time and do it in small steps.
Sure. Joe and I were working on ours not too long ago. What you want to do is make sure not to turn on the valves on the outside corners. That can cause real problems. If you keep that in mind, you should do fine. Right, that can be pretty challenging. You want to make sure that you've got even coverage while maximizing your range. Try putting blue circles in 3 of the 4 corners. That should give you the start you need. I can imagine. They can be trouble. Remember that televisions use red, green, and blue light to produce a full color image. A good thing to try would be to work one color at a time, and it might be best to start with red.
They're smart and quick little creatures, but most mice have one thing in common. They stop at doorways. If you can find a way to use that to your advantage, you'll be all set. Well, that's my specialty. Get off to a good start. Place the smallest gear all the way left of the bottom rod. From there, you'll be able to figure out the rest. Good luck. Yeah, and if I learned anything from watching hour after hour of nature documentaries, it's this. The burrow closest to you doesn't connect to any of the others.
Watch the patterns. This might be one of those times to break out your pencils and a piece of paper if you're having trouble remembering.
Don't forget that weather is always changing. The cloud formation you need could form anywhere. If you're having trouble finding a formation, you don't necessarily need to chase it down, just keep an eye out.
Since you don't know where the connections are, you're going to have to use the process of elimination. Start by looking along the edges for fans marked with 5, or for fans in the corners with 3. That means all possible connections leading from those fans are wired. Alright, this looks a lot tougher than it is. I've seen something like this before. Try putting 74 in one of the bottom corners and 40 in the other. If you work from there, you should get the solution in no time. That's a tough one.
It doesn't need to be. I recommend starting at the top and then working your way to the bottom.
You know what always helps me when doing something like this? I always look for an example to work from. Try looking at the other tower. It should be the duplicate of what you're working on.
That's a tough one. But that can make fuses a little fussy sometimes. Now, this model has a special trick to it. None of the fuses can be next to a fuse marked with a consecutive number. That's all you need to know to get the job done right. It might sound tough, but trust me, you'll figure it out. It's the best on the market these days. Now, the cool thing about fuses is that they're made to be broken. Too much current or heat breaks the fuse, shutting things down to keep your stuff from catching on fire and all that. Pretty cool, right? Absolutely. Let me guess, probably have a lot of gadgets in the car, and you need extra support, probably using a Krollmeister Nile, right? Picture of a falcon on the side?
I'd look around and see if you can find some information on the scale somewhere around the property. Considering what everyone there does for a living, they must have some guides hanging around somewhere. Oh, hey, come on, I'm not ready for that one. I know I've heard of the scale before, and it involves tornadoes, but beyond that?
Let's see. I know that, I'll be passing this question on to Frank. That's what we're here for. No problem. Catch you later.
Let's head back to the homestead. It didn't record a thing. I thought you said you fixed it.
Call me as soon as you learn anything new. Alright, take care over there. Then I have no clue. Is this someone a cat? Alright, tell me more. We just might. Actually, it's a shame you're not here. It's been a trying couple of days. We could really use you on the case. That's very deep, Joe. Not extraordinarily helpful, but deep. Hey, Nancy. Sorry. Oh, don't give me that look, Joe. In case you've forgotten, we're sort of in the middle of something here. No offense, Nancy. With what? That is, if that's what's going on. Well, it's not that simple. It depends on the state of the property deed. But say he found oil, and he kept it secret. I think you're right. The oil just might be the key to figuring out what he's hiding. Yeah, but the chances of that are... Come to think of it, this part of the country, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. That makes sense given the money box you found earlier. Interesting. What's it say? Of course. How so? You should definitely keep an eye on him. Awesome photographer or not, something's not on the up and up. One man's bravery is another's reckless stupidity. I'd be reluctant to trust anyone who is trying to make a name for himself, or anyone crazy enough to punch the core of a storm for that matter. I wouldn't go that far. In fact, if I were you, I'd steer clear of Frosty for the time being. Unfortunately, not much more than the next guy on the street. But to me, it sounds a little crazy. Why would you want to chase anything that's 100,000 times bigger than you and full of electricity? It's definitely not going to be simple, but it's a guaranteed step in the right direction. Take a good long look at everyone on the team. Normal people don't just leave boxes of cash lying around. It's hard to say what that's about, but one thing's for sure. It's important. Whoever this Scott Joker is, he should know better than to put his crew in harm's way. You know, you should let me talk to him. Now, why would anyone want to sabotage storm measuring equipment? Is there anything the two of us can help you with? I didn't know he was actually real. I thought he was more like Actual Astronaut, the Moonchunk spokesman, or that cartoon pterodactyl that sells used cars. Wow, he must be 100 years old. Would you please not do that? It's embarrassing. But enough about us. What's going on with you? One second we're in Paris, and you know the drill. Museum leads to clues, clues lead to the Romanov fortune. I'm leaving a few steps out, but what was I saying? You know what? No use in backtracking. I've got maybe 10 seconds before he butts in again to announce that he's found some secret lever or something, okay? Go check it out. Why don't you go check it out, Joe? Sometimes, if you give him something to do. Same old Luxor obelisk, not so great by half. What do you mean by too close? And we think that you should be very careful out there, and shouldn't do anything reckless. No, it's a fine time. We're just caught up in what we always seem to get caught up in anytime I want to go somewhere in a hurry. Nancy! Right, exactly. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye now. See ya. Pop in anytime. Oh, I almost forgot. Thanks. Awesome, even better. Cool, gum. Yes, gum. Thanks, Nancy. Yes, chocolate. Awesome, thanks. Chocolate, all right. All right, I love chocolate. This is so not candy. This is cheese. What's this now, cheese? Cheese? Is this some kind of prank? Yes, of course. Please. Okay, thanks. Well, I guess that'd be okay then. Easy, just plug the camera into the computer and do what it says. Then, if you give me a little time, I'll organize everything into folders. And Lori Gerard in a sweet cherry red convertible. But that's me. The type of kit Scott probably wants probably has, no clue. Batteries? And maybe Debbie knows. If I were putting together a disaster kit, it would include a map, some flashlights maybe? Yep, the sky was incredible. Saw a couple of promising wall clouds, but nothing ever dropped. Feel free to take a look at the pictures I just downloaded. They are awesome! So what's up? In the meantime, I gotta get back to work. See ya. You know, if you head on out to the Fraser Creek windmill, I'll bet you anything you'll get your picture. Weather conditions for cirrostratus should be perfect right now. You're a fine lady. Oh, and that big fat nose thing? Kidding. So, how are those cloud pictures coming? So there's really no reason to tell Scott any of this, right? Legally, all the stuff I shoot belongs to the team, but that's totally unfair, and Debbie agrees. She knows how hard it is to get a good start, and she looks the other way. Don't be upset with her, though. She's just trying to help. But when it comes to all that other stuff, I had nothing to do with any of it, and neither did she. I promise you. Okay, look, I don't know why you feel like you need to stick your big fat nose where it doesn't belong, but all I did was sell some pictures and footage to this girl I know who's trying to make a name for herself as a nature photographer. Nancy, do you have any idea how crazy you sound? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Thanks, Nancy. You're the bomb. Do me a favor and give this to Chase for me. I borrowed it from him. Keep forgetting to return it. Bless you. Okay. Well, what are you waiting for? Go for it. Please? Okay, yes, mice totally creep me out, alright? The point is, I can't get anything done with them scampering their brains out down here, and somebody like you needs to get rid of them. What, who, me? What, afraid? No. I mean, so what if they crawl all over everything and come darting out of the shadows when you least expect it and have those tiny pink feet and those skinny little tails? Look, try not to get upset, but I just discovered we have a really big problem down here. Mice. One just scampered right across my keyboard. My keyboard, Nancy! That's way over the line! I may have called out in a slightly unmanly way, but with good reason. Look, we just had some bad luck. Means odds are next time, we'll have good luck. Stuff happens. Forget about it. In all the excitement, I didn't double-check your work until it was too late. So, I guess it's partially my fault. I told Scott to go easy on you, and since you're still standing, guess he did. Nope, still broken. You can see for yourself if you want. I left it upstairs. Because I didn't, I told you. That camera you said you'd fixed was still broken. Nah, but then I'm still relatively new to the storm chasing biz. Thorns just about took my arm off when I went to grab it. Just a few minor war wounds. See, I was climbing the fence next to the old Fraser Creek windmill so I could get a clear shot of some mammatus clouds. And what happens? I dropped my camera bag right into a patch of brambles. What, these scratches? Oh, Scott likes to yell, but I can handle that. Beats working for Brooke. She's the leader of the team that's our biggest rival. Real bulldog. With lipstick. And getting yelled at occasionally is nothing compared to some of the stuff I've been through. For instance, I joined the team last year after their photographer quit halfway through. This is my first full season. I'm the best thing that's ever happened to this team, I might add. I'm good. Course. Nah. That time? No. But I did roll down my window and start shooting. And I came away with photos and footage of hail that no one's been able to top yet. Overnight, I went from being Tobias Harlow, run-of-the-mill photographer, to Frosty Harlow, fearless documenter of extreme weather phenomena. HP means high precipitation, lots of rain, and a supercell is a cloud formation capable of producing severe thunderstorms. The core is the worst part of a supercell, where violent updrafts can produce huge hailstones, to say nothing of tornadoes. The windshield shatters, and a hailstone the size of a fist lands in my lap. Then another, then another. Turns out I'd punched the core of an incredibly powerful HP supercell. And I mean, rain was coming down like my car had stopped under Niagara Falls, and the wind was blowing and the car was swaying, and then it started to hail. First just dime-sized stuff, then quarter-sized, then golf ball-sized, then all of a sudden, I'd drive for a while, jump out, snap some pictures, roll some video, jump back in, drive some more. Just looking for good pictures, you know? I wasn't really paying attention to what the storm was doing until all of a sudden it got really, really dark. And then it just started pouring. Sure is. A couple of years ago, before I met Scott or any other tornado chasers for that matter, I was out taking pictures of this ginormous thunderstorm that was brewing outside Norman. What's up? Hey, Nancy, whoa. Never seen that look on your face before. Did you catch those mice yet? You still haven't caught those mice. I want you to catch those mice, Nancy. Nancy, great. Listen, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Frosty. As you can probably tell from all this equipment, I'm the media guy. Still pictures, audio, video, digital, analog. I do it all. Do it pretty darn well, too.
Yes. Something else? Yeah? That was quick.
But Nancy, be careful out there. Keep this radio on and I'll do my best to keep you safe. Okay, Nancy, first thing, switch on your GPS. That little dot you see, follow that and it will lead you right to Scott. We put a tracker on his truck. It's a safety thing.
Nancy, where are you going? Get in the shelter. Have fun. Okay. Oh, and thanks for driving that car up here for us. That was a big help. See ya. Nancy, hang on. At least make sure you stay in radio contact. And if things start to get bad out there, I want you to promise me you'll head to his shelter immediately. Wait, Nancy, that's not what I meant! I think I might be able to track the storm using our old methods, but this would be so much easier if we had our equipment up and working. What? No. Wait! I'm gonna have to deal with that later. It doesn't matter right now. What's important now is that we keep on top of this storm. With the way conditions are developing, this front could produce the strongest weather we've seen this season, or ever. And I still don't know where it's headed. Today is quickly approaching nightmare status. It does? He left in the truck, he's got all of our equipment, and he's not answering his phone. Change in plans. Scott's gone, and we've got a major storm front moving in. If you see him around, will you let me know? Chase and Frosty and I are supposed to be leaving for the Grange soon, and I really need to know that someone is keeping an eye on these fronts. Nancy, you have no idea what you're talking about. Do yourself a favor and keep your mind on your work. I am right. And besides, we've got bigger things on our plate than what our photographer does in his spare time. He said that, did he? Well, that's not exactly something you need to worry about. To tell you the truth, I have to look up a lot of things myself some days. Check the computer, that should help you out. You don't remember? Well, that's the breaks. Hey, you know, since you're so good at fixing things, why don't you fix the TV? I think we've abused it enough. It's not getting any picture. Let's move! This storm is about to go critical! We need to get out in the field now! You're riding point with Frosty. Scott and I will be tracking the storm. Let's go! Is it organic? Nah, who am I kidding? Chocolate? Thanks, Nancy. Chocolate is my favorite, thanks. Hey, that's my favorite kind of gum. Great, gum! Cool, just what I wanted. Cheese, is this a code? If you're in danger, blink twice. Oh, I see what you did right there. Not cool, Nancy, not cool. No offense, Nancy, but cheese and candy are not really the same thing. Okay, but if my dentist asked, this never happened. Thanks, Nancy. Why not? Of course. Yes, I do. Okay. You know what? I really would. Thanks, Nancy. Not now, Nancy. I really need to finish this quickly. Look, I don't feel like talking anymore, okay? I should probably get ready for rehearsals soon. None. Maybe he is up to something. Wow, I sure didn't see that coming. He left without telling me where he was going, just walked out without so much as looking at me. He was so preoccupied he didn't even lock his office, and he always locks his office. Scott sabotaging his own team? I know it's been a bad year for him, and his research means everything to him. At least, it used to. What? Where'd you get an idea like that? What else is going on? I'll have Chase take a look at it. You sure you were operating it correctly? Look, nobody likes to admit they screwed up, okay? But you screwed up. It happens to everyone. So just admit it and move on. Somebody with a camera must have stopped nearby, and in all the excitement, you just didn't see them. That's impossible. For one thing, his camera wasn't working. He thinks he's so smooth. First time I heard him do that, I thought my little sister was downstairs. Oh, come on. Did you scream when you saw that mouse in Scott's office? No. Oh, yeah. I know it's not the most glamorous work, but you'll be a real hero to those little guys. Great, thank you so much. I do it myself, but I'm buried in work right now. You're a lifesaver. Literally. You're right. Fortunately, there's time for you to move them to the other side of the barn, but you're gonna have to move quickly. I told Chase to come up with a way to move them so they don't get hurt. Hopefully he's figured it out by now, so after you talk to Scott, go talk to Chase. Since it doesn't look like we'll be chasing any storms today, the prairie dogs that have taken up residence by the cornfield, I just got notice that the ag people are going to exterminate them. Holy cow, that was the jack for Scott's phone! Forget what I was saying, you're gonna have to stay here and fix Scott's phone connection. Scott will freak if he comes back and his phone doesn't work. Soon as I finish entering these data, I am out of here. It probably just needs to be rewired. I've seen you work, I know you can figure this out for us. Go on, go fix that phone, go! I still need that filing finished. Don't forget to finish up yesterday's work as well. Do you have any more errands or deliveries? Have you caught those mice yet? Have you finished that disaster kit yet? Make sure you finish up working on those sirens. Nancy, perfect timing. We've got a couple target storms ready to go critical. We need to get out in the field now. You'll drive. Scott and I are going to be tracking the storm. Okay, ready? If I seem a little frantic, it's because there's a front moving in capable of producing a supercell, maybe even lots of supercells. So we're moving out ASAP. Everyone's already outside. You'll ride with Chase in the... Morning, Nancy. Looks like it's shaping up to be another big day for all of us. First things first, we've got huge communications problems right now. I had Chase fix up the GPS units and add the comm antenna location. I need you to take a trip over to see what the problem is. After that, I know Chase asked if you could drop by and talk to him, okay? You'd be surprised. Chase and Frosty? Those two could sleep through a circus explosion. Before I forget, Scott wants to talk to you, so make sure you go in there as soon as you leave here, okay? One of the things I want you to do today is trap the mice I keep seeing by the table and get them out of here. They're starting to get pretty annoying. What did you think of that storm last night? Pretty loud, huh? Nancy, good morning! Got a few things for you today. That storm really shook up those sensors out in the cornfield. Could you put them back in line? After that, you should go spend some time in the field with Frosty. He really wants to show you some of the basics of storm photography. Any chance to show off? You don't even know the half of it. We're approaching final dress for the Grange's big play of the year. Everyone from around here shows up. You should ask Pa about it. He's got much more of a passion for the stage than you'd expect from a man in overalls. And soon became the sound and lighting director as well, which means when I'm not here or out in the field, I'm there. Theater's kind of a passion with me. So when I got here at the beginning of tornado season, I found out the Grange needed a stage manager for the play it's putting on, and volunteered for the job. Everyone on this team has his quirks, that is for sure. But deliberately causing a mouse infestation? Nobody's that mental. Are you suggesting someone has been deliberately feeding the mice? Dried corn? Why would anyone around here buy dried corn? I haven't noticed any little piles of corn. Little piles of dirt, yes, but corn? Anyway, it's more likely the mice are causing the piles. Probably storing up for the winter or something. No, we've got a mice problem, which we're all just trying to ignore because there's really no time to do anything about it. When I get a chance, I'll call the sheriff and report it. Sure. I heard you tell Scott about seeing that tornado, so my guess is the twister carried it in from somewhere else. Maybe even somewhere miles from here. No idea. Wow. There must be a couple $100 in here. Job. Thanks. Payment enclosed. The chase team gets it during tornado season. The agricultural team's here the rest of the year, so we've agreed to maintain whatever projects they've got going in their absence. Right now, they're in the middle of collaborating on something with this big mucky-muck research center in Hawaii, which is just another way of saying, fix those sprinklers ASAP. See, this farmhouse and the acreage it sits on were donated to Canute as a research facility. Those 2 jobs Scott gave you, get them done. You can head out to the cornfield and fix the sprinkler system. If any items are missing, you can go to Ma and Pa's general store up the road and buy them. Just purchase wisely, our budget is very limited. And if you haven't introduced yourself to Pa or finished the filing, please do so. And once you're done with all that disaster kit Scott told you to put together, get it done. That computer quiz you took will tell you what needs to go into the kit. The chart with all the siren stuff is in the living room, and that computer quiz you took will tell you what needs to go into the kit. Pretty much everything he says in there, I can hear out here. He's not exactly a low talker. As for the rest of today, actually, I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of weighing my options. But hey, I could be wrong. Which, by the way, is something you'll never hear him say. Anyway, let's just say that Scott is extremely good at misdirecting blame. I've just learned how to read Scott and deal with his idiosyncrasies, that's all. Like all the equipment malfunctions we've been experiencing. I just got my doctorate in meteorology from Canute College. From the day I walked into Scott's Theories of Tornado Genesis class, I was hooked. I've been on his chase team in one capacity or another ever since. I've worked with him for the past 5 years, and believe it or not, that's his normal mood. When he's in a bad mood, yikes. First thing every morning, I'll brief you on what has to be done that day. First thing every morning, drop by to see me. I'll let you know what has to be done that day. Pretty much. You can't meet Scott without meeting me, too. I'm Debbie, the project manager. What's up? This system might be significant. It'd really help if you found Scott. Can you see if Scott's around? Really need to talk to him now. Sorry, Nancy, can't really talk right now. There's a huge front coming in and he's nowhere to be seen. This is not like Scott. Nancy, have you seen Scott? Hey, thanks for fixing the phone. You didn't miss much on the chase. My mind is still too blown to talk. Sorry, I still don't feel like talking. Let's talk later, okay? Hey, Nancy. Frosty's got quite the unusual scream, doesn't he? Nancy, hi! You've met Scott, the project leader. I'm Debbie, the project manager. Actually, it looks like we're out a bit early here. Nothing's developing like it should be. Let's get back to base and track from there. I don't want to follow a bum lead on a system with this much potential. Nice job, Nancy. Looks like we're ready to roll. I'm trusting you here. I know you can do this. There are a lot of people depending on you right now. But when we got here, we saw that it's locked. The shelter is locked on a performance night. I need you to take care of this while the rest of us work on a backup plan, okay? Make sure you're keeping those cables in order. Try working from the top down. The storm was showing a high potential of moving into town, but without the proper readings, we couldn't issue an alert. I knew we'd have to evacuate the Grange in person. It's been chaos here. I was able to cobble together a pretty basic tracking system back at the homestead, and instantly I knew we were in trouble. Maybe she'll share what she's got. From what I've been hearing, Brooke's team has been saying they already got 6 confirmed touchdowns and 2 good reads on supercells that didn't spawn funnels. Didn't think so. We go west. It's a longer drive, but there's some good movement, high amount of shear. Got word that the northmost cell is already throwing some pretty sizable hail. We might be a little late on that one. We've got 2, maybe 3 possible targets out there. I think it's a lost cause, Nancy. It's permanently broke. Bummer. The TV's sort of broke. Sometimes if you hit it, it'll work. Yes, you did it! Nice job, Nancy! Hurry up, Nancy, I know you can do this! What's the word, Nancy? Getting close? That storm's starting to sound pretty bad. Who would leave so many keys near an emergency shelter? What is this now? Who would double lock a storm shelter? Nancy, quick, which key opens the shelter? On my way.
Well, we'll deal with that later. Right now, I need you down here at the Grange ASAP. We need to evacuate the theater, and you've got my Grange keys with you in Frosty's car. I can't believe he would do that, and with Brooke Tavernaugh, of all people. He did what? This is Debbie calling for Nancy. Please come in. Over. Nancy, please pick up. Over. Nancy, this is Debbie. Over. Nancy, please come in. This is Debbie. Over. No matter what happens out there, promise me that you'll be careful. Looking back, I do things differently, but I did what I did for the right reasons. I wanted to push Scott until the world saw how reckless he was being. It was a mistake. I screwed up and I accept responsibility. He got hurt because Scott sent him out where he never should have been. After that, I knew I had to take over. Nancy, I know it probably sounded bad, but there's a lot you don't know. Pete, the intern you took over for, his injury wasn't just an accident. I was worried about him earlier. His heart clearly wasn't in it anymore. He was putting us in danger. I just wanted to do what's best. Nancy, I'm really sorry about everything that happened back there. Scott, he wasn't always like this.
Way too late to get cold feet here, Frosty. Scott needs to be taken care of. You know that, and I know that. No, I am staying at Canute. As it is, he's already near the edge. We just have to give him a little push. No one is going to suspect a thing. It's late, Nancy. Go to bed. I'm gonna hit the sack, Nancy. You should do the same. Time to turn in, Nancy. It's late, Nancy. Why don't you call it quits for the day? I've been seeing more and more of them. I wouldn't keep Scott waiting much longer if I were you. Hey, Scott wants to talk to you, remember? You'd better not go anywhere until you talk to Scott. Nancy, Scott's waiting to talk to you, don't forget. Time to call it a day, Nancy. Hit the sack and I'll see you first thing in the morning. Nancy, come back here. Scott wants to meet you. Nancy, is that you?
Dare to play.
Oh, yeah!
All right.
These are my best boots, dang it! Get out! How come something that makes such a mess be worth so much money? I'm never gonna get this stuff off.
Yep. Nice meeting you, Nancy. Just do right by Scott and you'll do fine. See you around. Adios. Bye now. Alrighty then. I'm real sorry, Nancy. All I did was run a few updates and... I'm very sorry it went haywire on you. I'll make sure it never happens again. You did what now? Sure did. Cheese? No thanks, I don't really trust cheese. No thanks, I ain't a big fan of no cheese. To be honest, I ain't really interested in cheese. Well, that's just not even close to being candy. Cheese? Gotta be honest here, Nancy, if this is a joke, I don't get it. All right, I love chocolate. Thanks. Awesome, thanks. Is this a bribe? Whatever the terms, I accept. I 100% want candy. He went in the base vehicle by himself, but he was real happy when he heard about that sensor. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you bet. Been trying at that all season with no luck. Oh, went pretty good. Didn't see any funnel clouds, but I managed to plant a sensor right in the path of a major downdraft, if you can believe that. Well, I just had a couple of candy bars, so just a small piece. Course, you're okay in my book, Miss Drew. Always. Just so it gets done. Appreciate it. It's for the body work that needs to be done on Pete's car. Scott's supposed to look it over and sign it before I give the repair shop the go-ahead. I need for you to run this here estimate over to Scott. It's not hard, just takes a little time and a little bit of trial and error. All you gotta do is put the gears I just cleaned back on 3 horizontal rods. There's a notch for each gear, so just figure out which size gear goes to which notch. Course, you gotta make sure when the gears line up vertically, they touch but don't overlap each other. Nothing to it. But seeing as you're here and seeing as Debbie said I should feel free to give any job I don't have time for to you, that's just what I think I'll do. Either that or this thing was put up by the world's dumbest electrician. Or the TV or the fridge. Someone just wanted to do some damage. Instead of being wired so any lightning that struck the house would be directed to the ground, this here lightning rod connected to the wiring inside the house. You know, come to think of it, I guess I can't rightly say all the bad stuff that's been going on is just bad luck. Like when I checked out the lightning rod on the farmhouse to see why Scott's phone blew up like that, I discovered something kind of strange. You got a deal. And I know it's highly unlikely, but should you and my mama ever cross paths? Listen, I'm truly ashamed of my behavior, Nancy. I will apologize to Pa for taking that divining rod first chance I get. You think I'm the one making everything go wrong? Oh, you're wrong about that. It's on account of Scott. He's the one messing stuff up around here. He's a jinx. And that's the truth. It ain't no stick. It's a divining rod. And the one I took from Pa's isn't just any divining rod neither. Used to belong to Charles Hamilton. It's that stick that made him the richest man in the state. My great-granddaddy saw it in action once. Saw it practically fly out of the man's hand and stick straight into the ground like it was being held there by some kind of magnet. The men started digging, and sure enough, they hit oil. And I found oil around here, too, a couple of times. Of course, when I started digging, all I ended up with were puddles. That's 'cause of Scott. See, I heard rumors there was an oil deposit somewhere underneath this here farm. I also heard the college was getting ready to dump the place, so I signed up with Scott, figuring I could look for oil, and if I found some, try to get my daddy to invest in a little real estate. I should have known I wouldn't get away with it, lying and conniving and sneaking around. They just don't come natural to me. My mama raised me just too right. Yeah, you do, 'cause you're right. What? Oil? Well, I've been doing no such thing. Where'd you get an idea like that? Just keep at it and you'll do fine. There's some paw pennies in it if you remember to bring this back when you're done. Don't want it falling into the wrong hands. Prairie Dog's life is rough enough as it is. Of course they will. Built this baby here with safety in mind. That's why it's so ugly. Now don't forget, if there ain't any critters in the burrows going to that hole, you'll lose suction and some of the ones that you've caught will escape. You gotta make sure you catch all of them before you move them. But just turn it on, stick the tube in the hole, and all the critters in the burrows going to that hole will be sucked into the bag. There you go. One-handed dandy prairie dog vacuum. Yeah, that'll do it. Well, let's find out. Well, then get yourself over to Mom Pa's and trade this tube in for one that's a bigger size. I'll set you up soon as you get back. At least it won't after I replace this tube with a bigger one. How soon are you supposed to move them? By using the handy-dandy prairie dog vacuum I just invented. Won't hurt one single hair in their furry little heads. Anything else on your mind? Like my dad always said, the best things in life are the things you earn. Anytime you want, just go on over there and start wiring up boards. There's some instructions over there that'll help get you going. Tell you what, over there on my workbench is a bunch of circuit boards for the weather balloons where I was putting up. Now, since I can't put the board to use till it's been wired up just right, how about for every board you wire up right, I pay you something in pop pennies? Of course, since wiring up wrong just makes more work for me, you make too many mistakes and I only pay you some of what you earned up till then, depending on how you did. What do you say? You're all right, Miss Nancy Drew. Well, just in case you change your mind. You got a sweet tooth? Popular? Don't know about that, but everyone's always willing to lend a hand when there's chores to be done, so that's something. I tried that for a while, but I got out when the market crashed. Pop pennies? All you can get with them is snacks and candy and the like, which is fine by me. Yeah, pretty much all you can get with them is candy, and as you can see, that's fine by me. The ag students that work here are always dropping them, so every time I find one, I put it in that jar. Those aren't tokens, they're pop pennies. You can use them at Mom and Pa's general store to buy snacks and candy and the like. The ag students that work here are always dropping them, so every time I find one, I put it in that jar. Well, I always figured she didn't have much use for them. But you know, lately, seems like she and him been hanging out with each other a lot. Nothing romantic or anything like that, just, you know, talking. Sure don't know about what. He takes real good pictures, no question about that. And if he's taking one of a twister, he gets in there right up close, thinks telephoto lenses are for sissies. He's okay, and he sure knows his way around a camera. That fella likes himself so much there seems to be little need for anyone else to go to the trouble. But once you get used to that, he's an okay enough guy. And he does know his way around a camera. He's right about that much. Him and me don't exactly have a ton of stuff in common. He's the outgoing, sophisticated type, and I'm just a simple country boy. Won't let me forget it neither. Thanks. Hardly ever. Why, you really are a city slicker, aren't you? Around these parts, everybody knows that nothing will get Mouse's attention quicker than the smell of cheese. I like working with pretty much everybody. Oh, I suppose Frosty gets on my nerves sometimes, mostly because he likes himself so much there seems to be little need for anyone else to go to the trouble. But most days we get along fine. Don't really know, don't much care. The truth's the truth no matter what people think. Heck yeah, I'd like to win. It's gonna bother me a lot. But as long as you got Scott for a leader, ain't no way. He's got this real negative way about him. Nothing good's ever gonna come his way. Sad but true. Not a chance. Other than the fact that he can be ornier than a never-ridden bull in a bucking chute and can holler longer and louder than all the football coaches in Oklahoma put together, I like him fine. Got this sixth sense when it comes to twisters. Never seen nothing like it. Kinda spooky sometimes. Well, I don't know about here, but I saw a mouse chew clean through a 2x4 in less than an hour once. Of course, that was probably because my neighbor's dog was one piece of chicken wire away from having it for lunch. But I don't know what them mice found so appealing about that hose, but they sure went to town. It's over there on the workbench. Take a gander at it if you want. A bunch of stuff. Reason he broke down in the middle of that storm and slipped in all that hell was 'cause his car had run out of antifreeze, should I say coolant. And that's 'cause mice chewed holes in his hose and made it leak. I like fixing stuff, and I like keeping busy, so this here's the perfect job for me. Plus I'm learning a whole lot about twisters. You live in these parts, the more you know about them, the better. Yep. Heck no. Stuff breaks. If your luck's bad, it breaks a lot. Being such a negative person and all, Scott's like a bad luck magnet. With him in charge, I'd be more surprised if stuff wouldn't breaking down all the time. Not that it bothers me. This here's my first time. Took a class from Scott last semester. Next thing I know, I'm on his team. Yeah, the team's had its share of technical difficulties, that's for sure. Sorry, that was supposed to be funny. A lot of people think that, but the truth is, it's my name. Has been since before the day I was born. And do they call you Nancy because you answer too many questions? Right now I'm fixing the car the fella you were replacing was driving when he busted his leg. It's pretty much my job, fixing stuff. You're Nancy, the new gopher, ain't you? Well, I'm Chase. I ain't gonna shake your hand 'cause my hand's kind of a mess. Again, I appreciate the help. Hey there. How's that transmission coming? Nancy, now this is what you call perfect timing. I was just getting ready to put the transmission of this car back together.
I heard you. I just don't really know what that...
The Krollmeister Salad Cannon!
The what?
Sounds like you need the Krollmeister Salad Cannon!
I have all these salad ingredients. How am I ever going to get them to the table?
Have you been injured in a carousel accident or darkroom mishap? Let the legal team at Hardstone and Sharp get you the money you deserve. We cover the whole range of workplace-related accidents. Lava accidents, unfortunate boulder mishaps, botched rocket launches. Whatever your problem, you have a friend in the legal services. Call Hardstone at Sharp, 1-888-555-6353. Remember, at Hardstone and Sharp, we're lawyers.
Those days are over with the new Lockbuster Infinity. Made from space-age nanotubes, the Lockbuster Infinity opens every door. Lockbuster Infinity, a subsidiary of Krollmeister Industries. How many times has this happened to you?
You don't have to have 4 stomachs to enjoy Cowabubble, but it sure helps.
Whether you're hiking through the wilds of the rainforest or watching the Canute Bisons lose another baseball game, there's never a wrong time for a Cocoa Kringle bar. Cocoa Kringle, the only candy bar with genuine Kringle action. Stop by the Funnel Cloud Cafe this week for our most ambitious special to date. Free pie and coffee to the first 20 people in the door, and sandwich specials that you will have to see with your own eyes to appreciate. The Funnel Cloud Cafe. Wow, what a great place to get food. Come down to the Funnel Cloud Cafe for the finest cup of coffee around, and delectable fruit pies so good you'll swear up and down that there are none finer in the entirety of this great country. The Funnel Cloud Cafe. Come for the coffee, stay for the pie.
It's a cannon for salads! Finally! The Krollmeister Salad Cannon has not yet been approved for domestic use.
Fine job, Nancy. Now come on over here. Something else I need you to do. You seem awfully interested in those pennies. Can I help you with something? Hey now, that's not yours. Back away from the penny jar. Come on, darn it, get off, get off, get off! I am real impressed with your work, Nancy.
You earned every one of those pennies. You did real fine. Go get what you got coming. Good work. Go ahead and help yourself to your earnings. Oh, nice job, Nancy. Go take what you've earned. Looks like it's try again. No pennies for you, looks like. Afraid that was one mistake too many. Uh-oh. More work for me means less money for you. That's a shame. Gotta cut your earnings in half. That's gonna cost you. Too bad. You only get half of what you had coming to you. And I'm done out here. How's that for timing? I am much obliged. Alrighty then. Best news I've heard all day. It's up to you. Suit yourself. That's disappointing, but what can I say? Good. You know you're done when the screen lights up. With any luck, I'll be done out here about the same time. What you gotta do is rearrange them so no consecutively numbered fuses are touching in any direction. Fuse number 1 can't be touching fuse number 2, which can't be touching 3, which can't be touching 4, and so on. Got that? What y'all looking at is the fuse board for the screen. Fuses are all there and they're all good, but the display won't work till you rearrange them. See how they numbered from 1 to 8? Just get inside and I'll tell you what's what. Save me a lot of time if you kindly fix the LED display on the dash while I fix the wiring out here. Whoever just came in, give me a hand over here, would you?
Figures. There should be a required course you have to take before inflicting your inexperience on others. Speaking of, how's your team? Oh, ouch! Right, which is what you're supposed to do as a storm-chasing professional. Yahoos, that's who. I swear every year the new batch just gets dumber. Still moving, like how fast? Let's try to keep it that way. Congratulations! Any chance you can keep your act together so that the rest of the world doesn't also know what you're up to? As long as you're making sure that everything looks right. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay. See you around, I guess. Not even any good gossip about Scott's team? Any new blunders I can take back to the guys? I know it can't be smooth sailing over there these days. I mean, come on. Nothing to report? Nothing at all? Are you feeling all right? A little of A and a little of B. Well, go ahead. What's the word out here this week? Don't keep me in suspense.
This is a broadcast of the emergency notification system. There have been multiple reports of a tornado touchdown in the area. All listeners are advised to seek shelter until further notice.
Action.